त्यसलाई हामी चाहिँ फिनिसिङको कुरा त्योहरू हो। त्यसपछि ओके स्टार्ट गरिहाल्नु भएको छ, ठिकै छ ल। ल सबैले एउटा डिफिनेसन लेखिदिनुहोस् त, अनि म बल्ल पावर पोइन्टमा जान्छु। डिफिनेसनमा के लेख्नु छ भन्दाखेरि एज पर आइएस 6461, सम्झिनुहोस् है, मैले आइएस 6461 हाम्रो पोलिसी भनेको यस्ता हुन्छन् हाम्रो फेरि। एज पर आइएस 6461 कमा it defines अथवा 6461 defines direct it पनि भन्नु पर्ने, defines is that property of freshly mixed concrete or mortar which determines the is भनेको सजिलो, is and homogeneity with which it can be mixed, सुन्नुहोस् है, it can be mixed, placed, transported, compacted, and finished हो। अघि प्रतीक्षाले भने जस्तो र अरूले तपाईहरुले पनि सुनाउनु भयो, सबैभन्दा पहिला अब 6461 ले फ्रेश कङ्क्रिट बनाउनको लागि मटेरियल कसरी सिलेक्सन गर्ने, त्यसको क्वालिटी के हो, त्यो क्वालिटी छ कि छैन भन्ने कुरा कसरी थाहा पाउने, all the procedure it mentioned there. According to this IS code, you can produce the fresh cement concrete. Simply mixability भन्दा तपाईले के बुझ्नु पर्यो भने, it is the ability to produce the homogeneous mix. As you know, by the nature, the ingredients of the concretes are heterogeneous, but you have to produce the homogeneous mass. Then if all the proportion and all the properties of ingredients are as per the standard, then you can get the homogeneous mass with your designed अथवा quantified proportion. त्यसलाई हामी चाहिँ मिक्सेबिलिटी भन्छौं। अब प्लेसेबिलिटी भन्दा तपाईले के बुझ्नु पर्यो भन्दाखेरि, sufficient mobile to be placed. सपोज तपाईले एउटा कर्नरमा कङ्क्रिट बनाउनु भएको थियो, यसो सम्झिनुस् न मनमा नै, एउटा के रे कर्नरमा, अब तपाईले प्लास्टर सम्झिनुहुन्छ बरु, एउटा कर्नरमा कहीं सिमेन्ट र स्यान्ड मिलाएर मोटार बनाउनु भयो, त्यो मोटार बनाइसकेपछि के रे तपाईले चाहिँ अर्को कर्नरमा गएर कङ्क्रिटिङ गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने तपाईले ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन गर्नु पर्यो अर्को कर्नरमा। सकेसम्म हामीले के गर्छौं भने ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन डिस्टेन्स चाहिँ कम भन्दा कम बनाउन खोज्छौं है। ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन डिस्टेन्स चाहिँ कम होस् भने जहाँनेरि तपाईले कङ्क्रिट बनाउनुहुन्छ त्यही नै साइडमा तुरुन्तै काम हुनु पर्यो भन्ने खालको। अब तै पनि हामीले त्यस्तो सधैँ भनेको ठाउँमा त पाउँदैनौं, किन भन्दाखेरि जस्तो तपाईको घर बनाउँदै हुनुहुन्छ अनि त्यहाँनेरि सामान राख्ने ठाउँ हुँदैन, किनभने अहिले 3 आना 4 आनामा घर बनाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, यतापट्टिको पनि घर बनिसकेको छ, अनि उस्तै परेन रोडमा पनि तपाईले सामान राख्न पाउनुहुन्न, भित्री रोडहरु साँघुरो हुन्छ हैन। भनेपछि देयर इज नो प्लेस फर यु सफिसिएन्टली हैन। त्यस्तो भयो भने तपाईले के गर्नु पर्यो त भन्दाखेरि कङ्क्रिट डाइरेक्ट रेडीमिक्स कङ्क्रिटहरु लिएर आउनु पर्यो। रेडीमिक्स कङ्क्रिटले पनि प्लेसेबिलिटीलाई कसरी हेर्छ भन्दाखेरि, अब तपाईले चाहिँ कस्तो भन्दाखेरि अब तल बाटोमा उले बनाउँछ, अनि बाटोमा बनाइसकेपछि तपाईले एउटा नोजल एउटा पाइप भनौं न उनको, अनि पम्पिङबाट तलैबाट 2-3 तला माथि तपाईले बनाउनु भएको छ भने पनि त्यसले त्यहाँ पम्प अफ गर्छ अनि त्यो प्लेसिङहरू आफ्नो तरिकाले गर्छ है। त्यो छ। अब हाम्रोमा म्यानुअली प्लेसिङ गर्नु पर्यो भने त्यो मोबाइल सफिसियन्टली हुनु पर्यो। अर्को चाहिँ हामीले त्यो फ्लोएबिलिटी पनि हुनु पर्यो, फ्लो पनि राम्रो हुनु पर्यो ताकि रिक्वायर्ड सेपमा तपाईँले चाहिँ कुनै बेला स्लोप बनाउन खोज्नुभएको छ, कुनै बेला फ्ल्याट बनाउन खोज्नुभएको छ होइन, कुनै बेला चाहिँ धेरै कङ्क्रिट के अरे माल धेरै गयो भन्ने बनाउनु भयो, धेरै माललाई अलिकति लेभल मिलाउने हिसाबमा अर्कोतिर लएर राख्नु हुनुभयो भने त्यस्तो बेला चाहिँ हामीले त्यो फ्लोएबिलिटी पनि चाहिन्छ। अर्को अब कम्प्याक्सनको कुरा गर्दाखेरि त कम्प्याक्सन त झन् कम्प्याक्सनको मिनिङ के हो त, टु इलिमिनेट द भोइड्स कम्प्लिटली इनसाइड द कङ्क्रिट मास। त्यसको हिसाबले पनि त्यो प्लेसेबिलिटी के अरे यो कम्प्याक्टेबिलिटी त्यसरी हुने भयो। अनि फिनिसिङ भनेको कस्तो भन्दाखेरि फिनिसिङ भनेको तपाईँले जुन कामदारहरूले त्यो सावेलहरू अरू काठको इक्विपमेन्टहरू लिएर जुन कङ्क्रिटहरूलाई चलाइरहेको हुन्छ, चलाइराख्दाखेरि अब कुनै बेला त्यो चलाउने को अर्थ के भने हनी कभ स्ट्रक्चर भनेर पढ्नु भएको थियो नि पहिला, हनी कभ कङ्क्रिट चाहिँ नहोस् भन्ने हिसाबले हो भनेपछि यसको फ्रेसली मिक्स कङ्क्रिट चाहिँ आज तपाईँले ठ्याक्क के सम्झिन्छ जस्ट अब तपाईँको दिमागमा चाहिँ त्यो कङ्क्रिट बनाएको ठाउँमा म अहिले लैहाल्छु वर्केबिलिटी पढाउने बेलामा। आज म तपाईँलाई युट्युबमा एक दुईवटा कन्टेन्ट देखाउनै पर्छ, नत्र यो भाषाले मात्रै हुँदैन। त्यसलाई हामी फ्रेस कङ्क्रिट भनेर भन्छौँ है त। ओके, लेट्स मुभ फर द आज तपाईँको मैले हाजिरहरू सबै निकालिसकेँ, एउटा डिपार्टमेन्टलाई बुझाउनु पर्ने भएको र सब डेस्कटपमै छ। हजुर प्लिज।
ए मेरो के लाइट गएको थियो अनि म बिचमा एकैछिन आएको थिएन अनि त्यस्तो भएपछि अटेन्डेन्स चाहिँ के हुन्छ सर?
तपाईं म्युट हुनुभएको छ
सर, म्युट हुनुभएको।
सेयर चाहिँ भा
हजुर सर, भएको छ।
सेयर भा है
भएको छ सर।
ल ओके। यसमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि सबभन्दा पहिला वर्केबिलिटी भन्ने टर्मिनोलोजी बुझौँ है। बेसिकली मलाई फेरि यो जहिले यो टर्मिनोलोजी सिकाउने तपाईँले सिम्पली पनि बुझ्नुहुन्छ होला, तर फेरि मलाई त्यस्तो लागिहाल्छ। अब वर्केबिलिटी भन्दा तपाईँले के बुझ्नु पऱ्यो भन्दाखेरि यो पनि इज विथ विच कम्प्याक्सन त्यो ऐ भनेको एक्टिभिटिजलाई सजिलैसँग काम गर्न सजिलो होस्। जस्तो वर्क डन अगेन्स्ट द फ्रिक्सन, वर्क डन अगेन्स्ट द कङ्क्रिट। इफ यु वर्क डन अगेन्स्ट द कङ्क्रिट देन वाट यु डु वान्ट टु क्रिएट थ्रु योर वर्क डन, त्यसको हिसाबले क्रिएसन गर्न सक्नुभयो भने त्यसलाई हामी वर्केबिलिटी भनेर भन्छौँ होइन। बेसिकली वर्केबिलिटीमा पनि यहाँको डिफिनेसन छँदैछ। मलाई फेरि त्यो कोडको पनि लेखिदिन मन लाग्छ, यो तपाईँले बुझि नै हाल्नुहुन्छ। ल लेख्नुहोस् त कोडको। वर्केबिलिटी इज अफन रिफर्ड, यिनीहरूको शब्द पनि कति रमाइलै हुन्छ। वर्केबिलिटी इज अफन रिफर्ड टु एज द इज EASE इज ऐकै हो, with which concrete can be transported, placed, and consolidated without excessive bleeding and segregation. That is one thing. You have new terminology. The concrete should be workable without any excessive bleeding and segregation. त्यसलाई हामी वर्केबिलिटी भनेर भन्छौँ। ठिक छ, अब तपाईँले बुझिहाल्नुहुन्छ। अब वर्केबिलिटी भन्नासाथ हामीले काम गर्न सजिलो हुने, हामी जुन बिममा बसे बिममै काम गर्न सक्छौँ, कोलममा बसे कोलममै काम गर्न सक्छौँ, स्ल्याबमा बसे स्ल्याबमै काम गर्न सक्छौँ, के अरे फाउन्डेसनमा बसे फाउन्डेसनमा काम गर्न सक्छौँ। काम गर्न सक्छौँको अर्थ के भने तपाईँले त्यो राम्रोसँग मिक्स गर्न सक्नुभयो, त्यसलाई राम्रोसँग प्लेस गर्न सक्नुभयो, अनि त्यसपछि त्यसलाई कम्प्याक्सन गर्न सक्नुभयो, अनि कन्सोलिडेट गर्दाखेरि पनि कन्सोलिडेट हुने भयो। माथिको कुनै अस्ति तपाईँले पढ्नुभयो नि सिमेन्ट पेस्ट र एग्रिगेट पेस्ट भनेर छुट्टिएर त्यो पेस्टहरू जाने भएन। तपाईँले आनन्दले एकै ठाउँमा त्यसलाई फिनिसिङ गर्न सक्नुभयो भने तपाईँले वर्केबल गर्न सक्नुभयो भन्नु खोज्यो। यदि कङ्क्रिट त्यो एग्रिगेटहरू भनौँ न बिगर साइजहरू एकतिर गएर सेपरेसन हुने, उतातिर सिमेन्ट पेस्ट अर्कोतिर सेग्रिगेसन हुने भयो भने त्यो चाहिँ राम्रोसँग काम गरिएन भन्ने अर्थ आउँछ। वर्केबिलिटी इज बेसिकली एसोसिएट यही नै भयो, के अरे इच अफ द यो कुराहरू भइ नै हाल्यो। फ्याक्टर एफेक्टिङ द वर्केबिलिटी एज यु नो अलरेडी हाउ द वर्केबिलिटी एफेक्ट्स if the cement content of the concrete is more, sometimes it is said to be the good workable if you add the more cement content. यस्तो कुराहरु पनि कहीँ कतै लेखेको छ। अब अहिले तपाईले वाटर सिमेन्ट रेशियोमा हेर्नुहुन्छ। अर्को चाहिँ तपाईले वाटर कन्टेन्ट अफ द कंक्रीट, if you add more water then it provides you the good concrete workability, but in same case it reduces the strength of the concrete and durability. So for the consideration of the workability you have to control your water content. अब तपाईले वाटर कन्टेन्ट धेरै हाल्दियो भने त वर्केबिलिटी हुन्छ नै। त्यो हुनाले त्यो बाटोमा त्यो कामदारवालाहरूले धेरै पानी हाल्छन् कङ्क्रिटमा, तपाईले एकदमै याद गर्नु होला। त्यो भनेको उनीहरूलाई त्यो कङ्क्रिटहरूलाई चलाउन सजिलो हुन्छ माथि मेम्बरहरूमा राख्दा हैन। तर फेरि त्यसको अर्थ के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि ड्युरेबिलिटी र स्ट्रेन्थलाई त्यसले असर पार्छ। त्यही भएर यु हेभ टु कन्ट्रोल त्यो वाटर कन्टेन्ट एज पर यो रिक्वायरमेन्ट अफ द वर्केबिलिटी। त्यो हुनाले हामीले त्यो पहिले पनि हामीले त्यो कुराहरू गरेका थियौँ। अनि अर्को चाहिँ मिक्स प्रोपोर्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट। अब कहिलेकाहीँ कस्तो भने मिक्स प्रोपोर्सनको कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि, जस्तो तपाईँको चाहिँ भनौँ न कहिले कहिले हार्स कङ्क्रिट पनि बन्न सक्छ, एकदमै हेर्दैखेरि वेट के अरे ड्राई खालको कङ्क्रिटलाई चलाउन कम्प्याक्सन गर्न पनि गाह्रो खालको त्यस्तो पनि हुनसक्छ मिक्स प्रोपोर्सनको कारणले गर्दा। अब साइज अफ द एग्रिगेट, सेप अफ द एग्रिगेट र ग्रेडिङ अफ द एग्रिगेट मैले त्यतिखेर पनि पढाएको थिएँ तपाईँलाई। साइज अफ द एग्रिगेटको कारणले गर्दाखेरि भोइड, यो तिनटै कारणले गर्दाखेरि भोइड रेसियोहरूको चारवटै भनौँ तलको पनि सरफेस भोइड रेसियोहरूको के अरे भोइड रेसियो क्रिएट गर्छ र भोइड रेसियोको कारणले गर्दा त्यहाँनिर के हुन्छ त वर्केबिलिटीलाई चाहिँ असर पार्छ। जस्तो अब तपाईँले राउन्ड साइज भयो भने वर्केबिलिटी राम्रो हुन्छ, एङ्गुलर भयो भने हुँदैन, यस्तो कुराहरू पनि भन्नुभएको छ। यो कुराहरू त्यहाँनिर बुझ्नु होला, उतैतिरको कन्टेन्टहरू हो। अब समटाइम्स यु हेभ अलरेडी फ्यामिलियर विथ द सुपर प्लास्टिसाइजर एन्ड प्लास्टिसाइजर। दिज आर द material used for the workability of the concrete according to your requirement, whether you are going to control the water content for the good workability or for your required workability, or you want to increase the water cement ratio but fix the workability. Both condition, if you are not able to produce on the site, then you should add the admixture. यो कुराहरू हो, यो चाहिँ वर्केबिलिटीको अब बेसिकली टेस्ट अफ द वर्केबिलिटी। अब सपोज you are on the site, then you have to assess the quality of the concrete, means you have to maintain the strength, workability and durability of the concrete. Then how do you able to maintain the workability? This is the prime concern, because the site in a site different labor have different attitude on the workability, and if you strictly make follow of the standard, then you have to control the water and others ingredients of the concrete. त्यो हिसाबमा तपाईका के छ त भन्दाखेरि एउटा चाहिँ तपाईले साइडमै बनाउन सक्नुहुन्छ, एउटा साइडमै बनाउन सक्नुहुन्छ, जस्तो यो स्लम टेस्ट अनि त्यसपछि आएर कम्प्याक्सन फ्याक्टर टेस्ट भन्ने चाहिँ साइडमा पनि गर्न सकिन्छ। अब फ्लोर टेस्ट, भिप टेस्ट, अर्को चाहिँ केल बलले पेनिट्रेसन टेस्ट भन्नेहरू पनि छन्। अब त्यो खालको चाहिँ तपाईँले के गर्नुपर्छ त भन्दाखेरि ल्याबहरूमा गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। अब स्पेसल्ली द स्लम टेस्ट इज वाइडली युज आइदर रोड कन्स्ट्रक्सन, building everywhere. It is used because the instrument is not the big issue. You can manage either lab or outside at the field too. त्यो कुराले यो चाहिँ एकदम धेरै युज हुन्छ। अनि कम्प्याक्सन फ्याक्टर टेस्ट यिनीहरू छन्। अब यो भनेको के हो त भन्दाखेरि जस्तो तपाईले चाहिँ कङ्क्रिट डिजाइन गर्नुभयो, कुनै स्ट्रक्चरल इन्जिनियरले चाहिँ M50 कङ्क्रिट दियो, M50 कङ्क्रिट दियो भने तपाईले चाहिँ मिक्स डिजाइन गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। अनि मिक्स डिजाइन गर्दाखेरि तपाईले के गर्नुभयो त भन्दाखेरि त्यो सबै प्यारामिटरहरू राखिदिएर मिक्स डिजाइन गर्नुभयो, कङ्क्रिटको स्ट्रेन्थ पनि आयो। तर तपाईले सपोज यु फरगट टु मेजर द वर्कएबिलिटी, देन अल्टिमेटली राम्रो स्ट्रेन्थ दियो भन्दै पनि भएन। त्यो कङ्क्रिटलाई फेरि तपाईले के गर्नु पर्यो त स्ट्रक्चरको मेम्बरहरुमा राख्न त पर्यो। कामदारले कामै गर्न सकेन तपाईको कङ्क्रिटमा भने पनि त्यो चाहिँ ओइल क्वालिटीको भएन के, वर्कम्यानशिप पनि हामीले हेर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ। त्यो भएको हुनाले अनि उनीहरूले के अरे इन्जिनियरले के गर्छन् त भन्दाखेरि त्यो अरू क्वालिटी हेर्दा हेर्दै वर्कएबिलिटी छ कि छैन भनेर टेस्ट गरिहाल्छ। अनि त्यो टेस्ट गर्दाखेरि यी इक्विपमेन्टहरू प्रयोग हुन्छन् र यी टेस्टहरू युज हुन्छन् र यसको आधारमा हामी थाहा पाउँछौँ। अब इम्पोर्टेन्स खास के हो त के अरे मेजर गर्दाखेरिको इम्पोर्टेन्स के हो भन्दाखेरि अरू चिज त्यस्तो धेरै यसमा इम्पोर्टेन्ट होइन। यसले चाहिँ बेसिकल्ली तपाईलाई चाहिँ दुईटा चिजको डिफाइन गरिदिन्छ। एउटा चाहिँ हाउ डु यु एबल टु गेट द आइडिया अफ सिलेक्सन द एग्रिगेट, एउटा चाहिँ यो एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट चिज हुन्छ हैन। हाउ डु यु कन्ट्रोल द एग्रिगेट ग्रेडिङ हैन। आइदर तपाईँ सिंगल एउटा के अरे कोइरी साइडबाट ल्याउँदै हुनुहुन्छ कि डिफ्रेन्ट कोइरी साइडबाट लिएर आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ कि त्यस्तो डिफ्रेन्ट साइडबाट लिएर आउनु भयो भने कम्बाइन्ड के अरे ग्रेडिङ गर्नुपर्ने हो कि। अनि त्यो एग्रिगेट ग्रेडिङको कन्ट्रेक्सलाई चाहिँ यसले एउटा कन्ट्रोल गरिदिन्छ हैन। अब त्यहाँनेरि भन्न खोजेको चाहिँ पार्टिकल साइजहरूलाई कसरी कन्ट्रोल गर्ने भन्ने कुरा हो। अनि दोस्रो भनेको तपाईँको के हो त भन्दाखेरि वाटर कन्टेन्टलाई कन्ट्रोल गर्ने हो। यति दुईटा चिजलाई चाहिँ यसले इम्पोर्टेन्टली हेर्छ। देन अब तपाईँले चाहिँ कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि यो दुवै चिज कसरी थाहा पाइन्छ त भन्दाखेरि इफ यु डु द टेस्ट फर द वर्कएबिलिटी इन द ल्याब अर फिल्ड, देन यु क्यान जज how much water is required to produce your concrete of desired grade with desired strength। त्यो कुराहरु चाहिँ यसले डिटरमाइन गर्छ। अब यसमा तपाईलाई मैले अब यसबाट म एकैचोटी तपाईलाई कहाँ पुग्छु त भन्दाखेरि यहाँ पुग्छु ल है। सपोज दिस इज योर instrument used for the workability test, especially slump cone test अथवा slump test भनेर भनिन्छ। अब मैले सबैभन्दा पहिला तपाईलाई अब मैले त्यहाँनेरिको त्यो प्रोसेसहरु त्यहाँनेरि भन्छु। त्यो त प्रोसेसलाई तपाईले स्टेप वाइज लेख्नुस्, त्यहाँको त्यो कन्ठ बनाउनै पर्दैन। त्यो इग्नोर द स्लाइड, नो प्रब्लम। अब तपाईँ फोकस गर्नुहोस् आफ्नो तरिकाले लेख्नुहोस् पनि है मनमनै। सबैभन्दा पहिला व्हाट आर द इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट युज फर द स्लम टेस्ट भन्दाखेरि तपाईँले के बुझ्नुभयो त भन्दाखेरि एउटा स्लम कोन हुन्छ। स्लम कोनको चाहिँ माथिल्लो इन्टरनल डायामिटर 10, यो तल्लो को डायामिटर 20 अनि बीचको हाइट चाहिँ 30 सेन्टिमिटर हुन्छ है। अनि त्यसपछि त्यहाँनेरि तपाईको एउटा के छ त भन्दाखेरि यो स्टक गर्ने खालको एउटा कम्प्याक्सन गर्ने रड छ, एउटा स्केल छ, अर्को यहाँ जावेल पनि हुनुपर्ने सानोतिनो, अहिले यहाँ जावेल राखिएको छैन हैन। अब सबैभन्दा पहिला यो टेस्ट गर्नको लागि एकदमै पहिलो टर्मिनोलोजी सम्झिनुहोस्, व्हाट इज द ग्रेड अफ कङ्क्रिट, पहिला यो थाहा पाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ, व्हाट इज द ग्रेड अफ कङ्क्रिट। सो आई थिङ्क आई हेभ लिटल बिट एड्रेस यो रिगार्डिङ द ग्रेड अफ कङ्क्रिट। ग्रेड अफ कङ्क्रिट भन्दा तपाईँले के बुझ्नुभयो त, M5, M7.5, M10, M15, M20, M25, M20 के अरे 30, 35, हाफ रेन्जबाट यिनीहरू जान्छ। दिज आर द concrete grade. Suppose you choose this concrete grade, that means you have M15. अब M15 भनिसकेपछि तपाईँको के भयो त, कङ्क्रिट ग्रेड के भयो त, M15 भन्ने भयो। पहिला तपाईँले कङ्क्रिट ग्रेड थाहा पाउनु पर्यो। नम्बर 2 मा प्रपोर्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट, प्रपोर्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट भनेपछि तपाईँले के गर्नुभयो त, 1:2:4। M15 मा कति हुन्छ त, 1:2:4। इट इज अब नोमिनल मिक्स भएको हिसाबले यसको प्रपोर्सन थाहा हुन्छ। नम्बर 1 मा तपाईँले, नम्बर 2 मा तपाईँले प्रपोर्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट थाहा पाउनु भयो, लेख्नु भयो है, प्रपोर्सन अफ कङ्क्रिट बनाउनु भयो। नम्बर 3 मा लेख्नुहोस्, 3 मा चाहिँ अब प्रोडक्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट भन्ने हुन्छ। प्रोडक्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट, प्रोडक्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट भनेको नाउ अन द गिभन proportion with given concrete grade you have to produce the concrete हैन। अब त्यो भनेपछि प्रोडक्सन अफ द कङ्क्रिट भन्ने टर्मिनोलोजीमा नम्बर आई भनेर लेख्नुहोस्। आई मा तपाईँको के भयो त, आई मा तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि क्वान्टिफिकेसन अफ द इन्ग्रिडियन्ट्स। अब क्वान्टिटी निकाल्न पर्यो, क्वान्टिटी निकाल्दा अहिलेको क्वान्टिटी निकाल्ने भनेको के हो त, यो यसमा भर्नको लागि क्वान्टिटी निकाल्नु भयो, यो कोन भर्नको लागि। सपोज तपाईँले यो अहिले बकेट छ नि बाहिरको, यो बकेटको साइजको तपाईँले कङ्क्रिट भर्नुपर्ने थियो भने यसको साइजको तपाईँले कति क्यालकुलेसन गर्ने भन्ने भयो। अब यो हेर्नु नि, यो बाहिरको यो छ नि, यो साइजको तपाईँले प्लानमा हेर्नुभयो भने यो साइजको कोठामा तपाईँले माथिबाट कङ्क्रिट गर्नु परेको थियो भने यही साइजको कोठालाई पुग्ने कङ्क्रिट ग्रेड तपाईँलाई थाहा भयो। हाउ मच क्वान्टिटी इट रिक्वायर्स टु फुलफिल योर मोल्ड, टु फिल योर मोल्ड भनेर भन्यो भने अहिले तपाईँको लागि यो मोल्ड भयो। यदि यसको लागि गर्नु परेको भए यो मोल्ड भयो। यदि यो रुमको लागि तपाईँले कङ्क्रिटिङ गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ रुफमा भने यो तपाईँको लागि मोल्ड भयो हैन। भनेपछि तपाईँले के गर्नुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि क्वान्टिफिकेसन त्यसरी निकाल्नु पर्ने हुन्छ है। अब क्वान्टिफिकेसनलाई कहिले कहिले ब्याचिङ भन्ने टर्मिनोलोजी युज गरिन्छ। ब्याचिङ, BATCHING, ब्याचिङ। ब्याचिङ भनेको इट इज द प्रोसेस अफ गेटिङ द गेटिङ द मेजरमेन्ट अफ द इन्ग्रिडियन्ट्स अफ द कङ्क्रिट एज पर द प्रपोर्सन। अब यसमा तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि सबैभन्दा पहिला मानिदिनुहोस् यो भाँडोलाई पुग्ने गरी सिमेन्ट चाहिँ 2.5 राख्यो भने हुन्छ भनिदिएँ मैले, लेट्स एज्युम। अब सबै साथीले क्यालकुलेसन गर्दै जानुहोस् त, यहाँ 2.5 यो मोल्डको लागि 2.5 kg सिमेन्ट राख्यो भने स्यान्ड कति राखौँ, प्लिज रिप्लाई सम, स्यान्ड कति राखौँ भन्नुहोस् त, के बुझ्नु भएन? हजुर, भेरी गुड, 5 स्यान्ड 5 राख्नु पर्यो। अनि एग्रिगेट कति राख्नु पर्यो? 10। भेरी गुड, माई स्मार्ट छन् नि मेरो के अरे विद्यार्थीहरू हो, यसरी बुझ्नु पर्यो कि। अब अनि वाटर कति राख्नु पर्यो? ल सपोज यु हेभ गिभन द वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो, लेट्स एज्युम 0.45। हाउ मच वाटर यु निड देन? Somebody please, कति राख्नुहुन्छ भन्नुहोस् त वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो?
$1.125.
125
1.125 कसरी कसरी गर्नुभयो भन्नु त मैले तपाईँलाई वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो चाहिँ कति भने 0.45 भने अहिले एकदम खुसी भएर गर्नुहोस् है एकदम टाउको ह्याङ गर्ने होइन नि तपाईँ सबै बुझ्नुहुन्छ कि यहीँ पढेको यहीँ बुझ्ने गरेर निस्किनु पऱ्यो कि जे चिज नि अब वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो भनेको के थियो रे वेट अफ दि सिमेन्ट weight of the cement to the weight of the water हो नि है
weight of the water to the weight of the cement
हो अनि कति भयो त
रेशियो 0.45 हो भने 1.125 आउँछ होला
हो त्यसरी आगो भनिदिनुस् न पूर्ण भाइ पूर्णले होइन भनेको थियो नि त हो 1.124 आगो छ भन्यो भने त्यो कति भयो त त्यति लिटर पानी भयो कि हजुर बुझ्यौ पानी कति भयो त त्यति भयो तर त्यो पानी कति भयो यहाँनिर कति छ त तपाईँको सिमेन्टको प्रपोर्सन त्यो पनि हेर्नु पर्यो नि त्यहाँ एक बोरा सिमेन्टको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट हाल्ने हो त्यो त होइन त्यहाँ त्यहाँ त तपाईँको त्यहाँ कति छ केजी सिमेन्ट कति छ 2.5 छ नि होइन र सिमेन्ट 2.5 इन्टु 0.25 गर्दा कति आयो 45
1.125
हो ल ओके गुड ल 1.115 भनेको तपाईँको वाटर भयो त्यसपछि लेख्नुहोस् त वाटर बराबर 1.125 भनेको 1 लिटर र बाँकी तपाईँको मिलिलिटर भनेको 12.5 मिलिलिटर 1 लिटर भन्ने भयो त्यति पानी हाल भन्यो बुझ्नुभयो पहिलो काम सबैले के गर्नुभयो ब्याचिङ गर्नुभयो ब्याचिङ गर्दाखेरि एकदमै ध्यान दिनुपर्ने हुन्छ अब जस्तो अहिलेको हिसाबमा जस्तो मैले अघि भने नि यो मोल्डमा भर्ने भनेर 5 केजी सिमेन्ट राखेर कङ्क्रिट बनाउनु भने त फाल्नु भयो नि हजुर भोलि त कन्ट्र्याक्टरले त तपाईँलाई यत्रो कङ्क्रिट किन बनाएको मेरो यो सामानमा भर्ने नै थिएन त्यसै मेरो खर्च गरिदिनु नि तेरो तल्लोबाट काटिदिन्छु भन्यो भने नि पायो नि त्यसले इन्जिनियरले के गर्नु पऱ्यो भने यति रुममा तपाईँले कङ्क्रिटिङ गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भने 1 मिटर क्युबमा कति बोरा सिमेन्ट लाग्दो रहेछ कङ्क्रिटको के अरे कङ्क्रिट बनाउँदाखेरि अनि कति बोरा एग्रिगेट लाग्दो रहेछ अनि त्यसपछि कति बोरा स्यान्ड लाग्दो रहेछ त्यस्तो कुराहरू पनि थाहा पाउनुपर्छ कि अब बिस्तारै अन्त तपाईँको एस्टिमेसनमा पढाउने गरिन्छ तर मेरै यही सब्जेक्टबाट थाहा पाइदिनुहोस् न मैले तपाईँलाई त्यो त्यस्ता सानसाना क्वेसनहरू ल्याब बेसका क्वेसनहरू त्यो अनुष्काकोमा राखिदिएको पनि छु तपाईँले पछि हेर्नु होला ल ओके थ्याङ्क यू जस्ट एनिवे यु गट इट अर्लियर एकदम छिट्टै थाहा पाउनुभयो अब दोस्रो काम गर्नुहोस् त्यहाँ त्यो प्रोडक्सनको दोस्रो काम मिक्सिङ अफ द कङ्क्रिट अब मिक्सिङ गर्न पर्यो मिक्सिङ गर्दा के गर्नु पर्यो पहिला सिमेन्ट र स्यान्डलाई मिक्स गर्नुहोस् अनि एग्रिगेटलाई हालिदिनुहोस् होइन अनि त्यो हालिसकेपछि तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ त्यहाँनिर यसो खाल्टो बनाए जस्तो गरेर अहिले मेजर गरेको पानी हाल्नुहुन्छ अहिले तपाईँको मनमा नै बुझ्नुहोस् है अहिले म भिडियो देखाउँला त्यसपछि त्यो बनेको कङ्क्रिटलाई यहाँनिर प्लेसिङ गर्नुहुन्छ अब प्लेसिङ गर्दाखेरि यो जुन छ नि यो यसको हाइट तपाईँलाई 30 सेन्टिमिटर भनेर भन्नुभएको अनि यसलाई चाहिँ 1/4 अनि त्यसपछि 2/4 त्यसपछि आएर कम्प्लिट गर्ने तरिकाले यहाँ भर्ने पहिला यसको 1/3 पार्टलाई पहिला गर्नुहोस् अथवा 1/4लाई पहिला गरे पनि हुन्छ भनेको अनि त्यसपछि यो दोस्रो भागलाई जुन तपाईँले कम्प्याक्सन अफ दि सोइल भनेर गर्दाखेरि गर्नुभएको थियो त्यस्तै 3टा लेयरमा यसलाई भर्ने 3टा लेयरमा यसलाई भरिसकेपछि अनि तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि माथिको कङ्क्रिट यदि धेरै छ भने त्यसलाई रिप्र्याप गर्नुहुन्छ र मिलाउनुहुन्छ मिलाइसकेपछि यो स्लम कोनलाई चाहिँ ठ्याक्क भर्टिकल्ली लिफ्ट अफ गर्नुहुन्छ भर्टिकल्ली लिफ्ट अफ गर्दाखेरि जुन कङ्क्रिट चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि भर्टिकल्ली लिफ्ट अफ गर्दाखेरि यस्तो सेपमा आउँछ यहाँ सेप भएको कर्भ कता गछ ल ठिकै छ अहिले त्यो यही छ ल सेप अब यसरी फाल्दाखेरि चाहिँ यस्तो सेपहरू आउँछ है हो ठिक छ यो सेपहरू आयो भने यो भने ट्रु के अरे स्लम भयो जस्तो कोन थियो कोनकै माथि भयो कति पनि तपाईँको हाइटै घटेको देखिएन यहाँ भन्यो भने त्यो ऊ भयो अथवा हाइट घटेको छ भने पनि त्यो खालको हिसाबले अब यो सियर स्लम्पमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि हेर यो जुन छ नि यो अब यो चाहिँ कोनको यो माथिको टप भागबाट हाइट मेजरमेन्ट गर्ने तपाईँको जुन सब्सिडेन्स भएको भनौँ न सब्सिडेन्स भएको कङ्क्रिटको लेयरलाई त्यो लोवर लेयर भन्छ अप्पर लेयर होइन लोवर लेयरसँग तपाईँले के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो हाइट नाप्नुहुन्छ त्यो हाइटलाई नै हामी के भन्छौँ भन्दाखेरि स्लम्प हाइट भन्छौँ यो यस्तो खालको धेरै पानी हाल्नुभयो भने यो कोल्याप्स लेभलको पनि हुनसक्छ अब कोल्याप्स लेभलकोमा पनि तपाईँको टपबाट यसको हाइट के अरे मेजरमेन्ट गर्ने त्यो हाइटलाई नै हामी स्लम्प हाइट भन्छौँ स्लम्प हाइट भनेकै तपाईँको लागि के हो त वर्केबिलिटी हो बुझ्नुभयो है भनेपछि अनि स्लम्प हाइट भनेको के अरे द हाइट मेजर फ्रम द टप अफ द कोन इन ए एमएम के अरे इज स्लम्प भ्यालु द्याट स्लम्प भ्यालु मेजर्स द वर्केबिलिटी अफ द कङ्क्रिट फिनिस यो कुराहरू याद गर्ने अब गर्दाखेरि कसरी हो त नि गर्ने टेबुलेसन गर्दा भने यस्तो हो यी सबभन्दा पहिलो एउटा काम गर्नुहुन्छ वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो 0.45 लेख्नुभयो त्यसपछि आएर वाटर सिमेन्ट अहिलेको चाहिँ यो सबै निकाल्नु भयो निकालेपछि यहाँ स्लम कति आयो त्यो स्लम तपाईँले चाहिँ यहाँनिर राख्नुहुन्छ अनि टाइप अफ द स्लम भनेको ट्रु स्लम्प आयो कि सियर स्लम्प आयो कि कोल्याप्स स्लम्प आयो भन्न खोज्या हो भनेपछि यो पहिलोचोटिको ट्रायल गर्नुभयो दोस्रो चाहिँ 0.48 वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो लेख्नुहुन्छ किनभने हाम्रो त वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो गर्नुपर्ने छ कन्ट्रोल अनि तपाईँलाई चाहिँ फेरि काम अनुसार विच इज योर टाइप अफ योर कङ्क्रिट or structural element according to that element your workability is fixed suppose you need the medium workability that according to your purpose then you need to have the slump value within this range 50 mm to 100 mm if you measure the slump and in which trial you got this range within this कोलम यो कोलममा कहाँ पाउनु भयो भनेर हेर्नुहुन्छ हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मान्नुहोस् यहाँ 0.45 गर्नुभयो 0.48 गर्नुभयो 0.5 गर्नुभयो 0.6 गर्नुभयो तपाईँले हेर्दाखेरि 0.48 मा चाहिँ ट्याक्क 60 mm आएको देख्नुभयो यसमा आउँदाखेरि पनि तपाईँको 120 आयो यसमा आउँदाखेरि 140 आयो यहाँ चाहिँ ट्याक्क 60 भन्ने आएको छ भने अनि तपाईँले के भन्छ भन्दाखेरि अब साइडमा चाहिँ पानी चाहिँ बेसिकल्ली 0.48 भन्दा हाल्नुहुन्न है भनेर इन्जिनियर साहबले भन्नुहुन्छ यदि त्योभन्दा बढी हाल्यो भने त्यो राम्रो हुँदैन तिमीहरूको चाहिँ मैले पैसा काटिदिन्छु भनेर त्यो कामदारलाई थर्काउन पनि सक्ने एउटा आइडिया हुने भएकै हो त्यो मात्रै होइन त्यो भन्नाले एउटा सिम्पल इन्फर्मेसन दिए हो ओके दिस इज द वे यु हेभ टु फिक्स द वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो ओके केही कन्फ्युज छ भने भन्नुहोस् त प्लिज बुझ्नु भएन कि तपाईँले भन्दै गर्नुहोस् म एउटा यहाँ स्लमको कतै एउटा भिडियो सेयर गर्छु है मलाई सोध्नुहोस् त प्लिज कसैले बुझ्नुभयो पहिला हजुर भन्नु
त्यो वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो त ग्रेडको कङ्क्रिटको ग्रेड अनुसार डिफ्रेन्ट हुने हो कि स्ट्यान्डर्ड अन्त त्यही अनुसार राख्दै जाने हो
ल उहाँको एउटा गुड क्वेसन अरू कसैको क्वेसन प्लिज यो नि बुझेन त्यो नि बुझेन के छ सबै भन्नुहोस् न प्लिज स्लम टेस्टमा नम्रता आचार्य ठिक छ केही बुझ्नु भयो नम्रता केही बुझ्नुभयो भन्नुहोस् त केही छ कन्फ्युजन हजुर केही पनि सुनिन केही रियाक्ट त गर्नुहोस् न बुझ्नुभयो है ल अरू कसैले प्लिज
सर त्यो 0.48 वाटर के भन्नुभएको
ए ल ओके गुड अनि अरु कसैले ल
सर
म
त
तपाईको
कोन भर्दा कम्प्लिट भर्ने हो सुरुमै कि हाफ हाफ गरेर
3 चोटीमा भर्ने भन्ने हो 3 लेयरमा ल म सबैको आन्सर दिन्छु म एउटा यो खोज्दै गर्छु है प्लिज टेक टाइम वाहाय
हुन त भन्छ सर हैन
साउन्ड आनो भनेको
हजुर सर
okay please teach me how to share this sound
सर त्यो स्लाइड सेयर एकचोटि अफ गर्नु
के फेरि भन्नु त म गर्छु
यो स्क्रिन सेयर अफ गर्नु
स्क्रिन
यो स्क्रिन सेयर गर्नु के
स्क्रिन सेयर गर्ने
अफ गर्नु त एकचोटि अनि फेरि अन गर्नु त्यहाँ अन गर्दा त्यो के रे अब फेरि त्यहाँ स्क्रिन सेयरमा उठाउनु त त्यहाँ इनेबल कम्प्युटर साउन्ड भन्ने छ होला
स्क्रिनमा फेरि स्क्रिनमै जाम
फेरि सेयर कन्टेन्ट गर्नु त
सेयर गरेँ मैले
त्यहाँ हेर्नु त सेयर गर्ने बेलामा इनेबल कम्प्युटर साउन्ड कि त्यस्तै केही अप्सन छ होला
ब्राउज माई कम्प्युटर ब्राउज वन ड्राइभ नो फाइल्स छैन त्यो यो ल पखाउनु चाहिँ अब यो गरेपछि मिक्स डिजाइन भयो
सेयर कन्टेन्ट उठाउनुहुन्छ नि त्यो सेयर कन्टेन्टको साइडमै हेर्नु त इन्क्लुड कम्प्युटर साउन्ड भन्ने छ
ओके इन्क्लुड कम्प्युटर साउन्ड गुड थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच ल अब गरम है त आउँछ कि आउँदैन
a slump or a collapsible slump.
सुरु है त प्लिज रियाक्ट त आयो
सर आयो
Oh, very good.
The ease with which one can work with concrete is called workability. This can be measured using a simple test called the slump test. Let me show you the procedure. Slump cone test is a simple and popular test extensively used at sites to assess the workability of the concrete mix. The test should be conducted at the commencement of the concreting operations or whenever the workability of the concrete changes. Workability of the concreting operations or whenever the workability of the concrete changes. The apparatus for conducting the slump test is a mold in the form of a frustum with a base plate. A steel and 60 centimeter height is to be used compacting. The internal surface of the mold should be thoroughly cleaned of moisture and any hardened concrete before commencing the test. The mold is placed on a smooth, horizontal, rigid, and non-absorbent surface and filled in 4 layers, with the thickness of each layer being approximately
Okay,
1/4 of the height
no
of the
problem.
mold.
British standard.
Each layer should be tamped 25 times evenly using the rounded end of the tamping rod such that strokes are uniformly distributed over the cross section. After the top layer is tamped, the concrete is leveled with a trowel so that is then removed by raising it gradually. The concrete will subside. This subsidence is known as slump. Without any jerks or vibrations and within a period of 2 minutes after completion of final tamping. The difference in level between the height of the mold and that of the highest point of the subsided concrete is measured. The subsidence measured is the slump of the concrete. The slump may either be a true slump, a shear slump, or a collapsible slump. The true slump is the desired form of slump that we require. In harsh mixes, the concrete slides down in an inclined plane. This is known as shear slump. In collapse slump, the concrete collapses as soon as the cone is removed. It usually occurs in very wet mixes. The concrete demonstrating a shear or collapse slump is considered unsatisfactory. In case slump results beyond the specified limits, the mix proportion needs to be adjusted, especially the water content, by changing the proportion, size, and combination of the various sizes of the aggregates. It is advisable to assess the workability of concrete mix using
Why?
हजुर भयो सर सर
ल ओके ल म अब तपाईको कुरा
सर यो हाम्रो स्लम हाइट कतिसम्म हुनुपर्छ
कुरा
सर
त हामीले कस्तो भन्दाखेरि स्लम हाइट दिएको छ नि त्यहाँनिर हेर त जस्तो हाई वर्केबिलिटी चाहिएको छ 100 देखि 175 सम्म चाहिन्छ हैन अब नर्मल्ली हैन यो पछि बीम कलम र त्यस्तो चाहिँ कस्तो भन्दाखेरि अब बेसिकल्ली नोमिनल मिक्सहरुमा तपाईले वाटर सिमेन्ट रेशियोहरु तोक्ने पनि चलेको पनि हुन्छ जब तपाईले चाहिँ मिक्स डिजाइन गर्नु पर्यो मिक्स डिजाइन गर्ने भनेपछि तपाईले ग्रेटर देन 20 के रे M20 ग्रेड M20 ग्रेड भन्दा माथिको जुन ग्रेडहरु छ त्यो चाहिँ स्ट्यान्डर्ड अथवा हायर क्यालकुलेट सिमेन्ट रेशियो फर दैट कंक्रीट यो कुरा हो अनि दोस्रो भनेको अघि मैले भनेको अहिले तपाईले देख्नुभयो नि त अब वाटर सिमेन्ट रेशियो भनेको चाहिँ तपाईले त्यो कहिले ट्रु स्लम्प कहिले शियर स्लम्प कहिले कोल्याप्स स्लम्प देखायो नि त्यो भन्न खोजेको डिफरेन्ट वाटर सिमेन्ट रेशियोको हिसाबले हो जस्तो मान्दिनुस् पहिला तपाईले 0.4 वाटर ट्रायल गर्नु कुन पानीमा कति पानी हाल्दाखेरि तपाईलाई त्यो स्लम्प चाहिने जस्तो मान्दिनुस् तपाईलाई ट्रु स्लम्प चाहियो भन्यो भने ट्रु स्लम्पको हिसाबले पानी हाल्नु पर्यो कोल्याप्स स्लम्प चाहियो भने कोल्याप्सको अनि यहाँ ट्रायल गर्ने भने पहिला चाहिँ 0.4 राखे तेस्रोमा 0.5 वाटर राखे चौथोमा चाहिँ 0.6 राखे अब तपाईले गर्दै जाँदा 0.6 मा पो कोल्याप्स आउने हो कि त्यो त तपाईले ट्रायल गर्दा थाहा पाइहाल्नुहुन्छ हैन ल्याबमा पनि गर्नुपर्छ यसलाई हामी चाहिँ
अनि सर
स्लम भेरी सिम्पल एन्ड
त्यो
वाइडली युज भनौँ
सर जस्तै ट्रु सलाम अनि कोलेप्स सलाम सियर सलाम जुन छ नि त्यो अनुसार हामीले पानी मिक्स गर्यो भने फेरि त्यो ग्रेडमा कन्क्रिट ग्रेडमा पनि त फरक पर्दिन्छ नि सर
अब यस्तो छ तपाईँलाई चाहिँ अहिले हामीले चाहिँ त्यो त नेचर त्यो ल्याबमा गर्दाखेरिको नेचर त्यस्तो देखिन्छ भनेर भन्यौँ होइन अब बेसिकल्ली तपाईँलाई चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि के अरे दिशा भनेर ट्रायल गर्ने हो कि तपाईँले अरू कुरै होइन त्यो हाउ मच वाटर यु निड टु मिक्स टु गेट यो डिजायर्ड स्लम भनेर ट्रायल गर्ने हो यो टेस्टको टेस्ट गर्दाखेरि 28% वाटरबाट कम्पेयर ट्रायल गर्दै त्यहाँसम्म पुग्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यस्तै चाहिँ यहाँ पनि हामीले के गर्ने त वाटर ट्रायल गर्दै कतिमा त्यो स्लम आउँछ त्यो अनुसार तपाईँले फिक्स गर्ने हो ल अब त्यसपछि नेक्स्ट तपाईँको छ के अरे कम्प्याक्सन फ्याक्टर टेस्ट भन्ने छ अब यो कम्प्याक्सन फ्याक्टर टेस्ट छ म जस्ट यो तिनटै मेथड आज बुझाइदियो भने तपाईँलाई कम्पेरिजन गर्न सजिलो हुन्थ्यो मैले अब यसको भाषाहरू भनिनँ है म एकैचोटि यसमा पनि तपाईँको ट्याक्कै इन्स्ट्रुमेन्टबाटै तपाईँलाई गएपछि यु आर सो स्मार्ट बिकज वेन म्याथमेटिकल टर्म्स तपाईँलाई थाहा हुन्छ अनि तपाईँले गरि नै हाल्नुहुन्छ सपोज दिस इज योर द इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट युज ए सिम्बल इन्स्ट्रुमेन्ट युज फर the workability test the method is that is compacting factor test हो compacting factor apparatus जुन भन्नुभयो नि compacting factor test को टेस्ट भयो र यो compacting factor टेस्टमा चाहिँ assembled apparatus हुन्छ तपाईको यो हेर्नुस् त assembled apparatus तपाईले हजुर
सर यो देखे हैन के
मेरोमा स्लाइड शेयर नभएको हो कि मेरोमा चाहिँ नदेखे हो
ए सो सरी स्लाइड अहिले त्यहाँ भिडियो गर्दाखेरि यो त देखाइएन छ नि त देखियो
हजुर सर
ओके सरी ओके लेट मी स्टार्ट फ्रम बिगिनिङ नो प्रब्लम यो चाहिँ अब तपाईँले आफैले याद गर्ने है अहिले हाइट मेजर गरे सब्सिडेन्सको हिसाबमा यसले भन्न खोजेको के होला इज वर्केबिलिटीको इज अफ वर्किङ नै हो इज अफ वर्किङ भनेको त्यहाँनिर दुईवटा चिज हुन्छ क्या इज अफ वर्किङमा तपाईँलाई एउटा कुरा के भन्नु भने एउटा चाहिँ त्यहाँ तपाईँको कस्तो भन्दाखेरि फ्लुइडिटी हुनु पऱ्यो फ्लो हुनु पऱ्यो कङ्क्रिट त्यो फ्लो हुने भनेको के को कारणले फ्लो हुन्छ त त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँको प्लास्टिसिटीको कारणले फ्लो हुन्छ अनि अर्को भनेको चाहिँ कस्तो छ त भन्दाखेरि अथवा कहिलेकाहीँ कस्तो भने कन्सिस्टेन्सी भनेर भन्नुहुन्थ्यो नि कन्सिस्टेन्सी भनेको तपाईँको लागि हाउ इजी टु फ्लो भन्नु खोजेको अनि दोस्रो भनेको कोहेसिभनेस भन्ने हुन्छ क्या कोहेसिभनेस भनेको सबै मेटेरियलहरू आहा कसरी ट्याक्क मिलेर आए होमोजिनियस मिक्समा बस्दिने के भनेको त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ कस्तो छ त भन्दाखेरि सेग्रिगेसन र ब्लिडिङ नभइकन एकै ठाउँमा बसे भन्नु खोजे हो भनेपछि वर्केबिलिटीले खास मेजर गर्ने चाहिँ कन्सिस्टेन्सी र कोहेसिभनेस भन्ने हो कन्सिस्टेन्सी मिन्स द इज फर फ्लो अनि कोहेसिभनेस मिन्स देयर इज नो एनी सेपरेसन देयर इज नो एनी सेग्रिगेसन एन्ड ब्लिडिङ फ्रम द मास and they are on a homogeneous in nature भनेर भन्यो भने त्यो चाहिँ कोहेसिभनेस भयो यो दुईटा चिज चाहिँ खास देखाउनु पर्ने हुन्छ है अघिकोमा तपाईँले हाइट नाप्नु भयो त्यसले के भन्न खोजेको थियो होला हैन यो दुईटै प्यारामिटरको हिसाबमा अब आज अहिलेकोमा तपाईँले के गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टर टेस्ट you remember the word compaction means it is the process of gaining the density of the soil हैन by different means of के रे compacting process compacting effort भनेर भन्थे नि त भन्नाले कम्प्याक्सन सोइलमा कम्प्याक्सन भनेको के हो? कम्प्याक्सन भनेको वास्तवमा ड्राई डेन्सिटी गेन गर्ने एउटा प्रोसेस हो। प्रोसेसमा के इन्भल्भमेन्ट हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि कम्प्याक्टिङ इफोर्टहरू हुन्छन्, के प्रयास हुन्छन् थाहा छैन। पानीको एउटा होला, अनि तपाईँको कुन इक्विपमेन्टले कम्प्याक्सन गर्ने भन्ने कुरा होला। द्याट इज अनदर कन्सेप्ट होइन। रोलरले गर्ने हो कि अर्को भाइब्रेटरले गर्ने हो कि त्यो अर्को कुरा भयो। यहाँ पनि तपाईँले त्योतिर दिमाग लगाउनुहोस् त। यहाँनिर कम्प्याक्सन भन्नासाथ the test somehow involved for getting the density of the concrete भन्न खोजेको हो जस्तो तरिकाले बुझ्नुहोस्। ल अब यसमा सबैभन्दा पहिला यसको लागि पनि के गरौँ त भन्दाखेरि कङ्क्रिट चाहिँ तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि यसको लागि M20 गर्नुभयो। ल now concrete grade is M20, let's assume. Then its proportion 1:dead/3, 1:dead/3. अनि concrete production गर्नुहोस्। मिक्सिङ के अरे ब्याचिङ मिक्सिङ के भन्नुभयो। ब्याचिङ गर्दाखेरि अहिलेको चाहिँ सिमेन्ट स्यान्ड एग्रिगेट कति हुन्छ, वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो यहाँको लागि पनि तोकिदिनुहोस्। ल अहिले वाटर सिमेन्ट रेसियो तपाईँले 0.5 गर्नुभयो भने कति हुन्छ। अब त्यसपछि यो मोडको लागि चाहिने भनेको मेरो हामीले त्यहाँ पनि ल यो 2 केजी राखिदिनुहोस् न त। अहिले 2 केजी राख्नुभयो भने सिमेन्ट 2 केजी भयो, स्यान्ड 2.2 × 1.5 भयो। त्यसपछि आएर के अरे अर्को एग्रिगेट चाहिँ 3 × 2 भयो। त्यसपछि कङ्क्रिट मिक्स गरेर ल्याउनुहुन्छ। अनि कङ्क्रिट मिक्स गरेर ल्याइसकेपछि हेर्नुहोस् है, यहाँ देयर आर 3 पट, देयर नेम इज डिफ्रेन्ट। यो चाहिँ यसलाई हामीले भन्छौँ अप्पर होपर, अप्पर होपर भन्छ यसलाई। यसलाई चाहिँ लोवर होपर भन्छ। यो चाहिँ सिलिन्डर छ। सबैले सुन्नु भएको छ, बुझ्नु भएको छ। अब सबैभन्दा पहिला अहिले तपाईँले बनाएको कङ्क्रिट छ नि, तपाईँको आफ्नो ग्रेडको कङ्क्रिट, त्यो कङ्क्रिटलाई यसमा लगेर राख्नुहुन्छ। यो पहिला क्लोज गर्नुहुन्छ, क्लोज गरेर यसमा राख्नुहुन्छ। लेट्स एज्युम है, सबैले भाषा पनि लेख्दा भइहाल्छ, ड्रइङ बनाऊ के छ र। त्यसपछि यो कङ्क्रिट यहाँनिर हाल्नुभयो। यहाँनिर त्यो कम्प्याक्सन गर्नुहुन्न, यतिकै कङ्क्रिट भरिदिनुहुन्छ। त्यो कङ्क्रिट भरिसकेपछि यहाँको यसको एउटा डोर हुन्छ, त्यो डोरलाई ओपन गर्नुहुन्छ, ब्रिम भन्छ। त्यो ब्रिम खोलिदिनुहुन्छ, यो ब्रिम खोलिदिनुहुन्छ। त्यसपछि यहाँबाट कङ्क्रिट फल हुन्छ। अनि यो लोवर होपरमा आएर कङ्क्रिट बस्छ है। यति हाइटबाट फल भयो भने यहाँको कङ्क्रिटको हाइट त के हुन्छ, यति इम्प्याक्ट फोर्स भयो नि त्यसको लागि। त्यो फलिङ भयो यहाँ, यो दोस्रो होपरमा फलिङ भयो। अनि दोस्रो होपरमा फलिङ भएपछि फेरि यहाँको यहाँ यदि कुनै कङ्क्रिटहरू बाँकी रहेको छ भने तपाईँले त्यो सानो सानो उसले कोत्रे जस्तो गरेर फालिदिनुहुन्छ, यहाँ पठाइदिनुहुन्छ। अनि सेकेन्ड होपरको कङ्क्रिटलाई नि के गर्नुहुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि सेकेन्ड होपरको पनि ओपन गरिदिनुहुन्छ। यो ओपन गरिसकेपछि यो सिलिन्डरमा आएर भरियो, बुझ्नुभयो? सिलिन्डरमा आएर भरियो भनेपछि तपाईँको थ्योरिटिकल प्रोसेस के रहेछ त ल्याबमा गर्ने। यो एकैचोटि कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टर एपार्टसमा जानुहुन्छ। कङ्क्रिट तपाईँलाई दिएको ग्रेड अनुसार कङ्क्रिट बनाउनुहुन्छ। कङ्क्रिट पहिला माथिल्लो होपरमा राख्नुहुन्छ। माथिल्लो होपरमा राखेको कङ्क्रिटलाई तपाईँले खोलिदिनुहुन्छ, लोवर होपरमा जान्छ। लोवर होपरमा भएको कङ्क्रिटलाई खोलिदिनुहुन्छ, यो सिलिन्डरमा जान्छ। अनि सिलिन्डरमा गइसकेपछि अब के गर्ने, म्याथमेटिकल्ली कसरी क्यालकुलेसन गर्नेतिर जाऊँ। म्याथमेटिकल्ली क्यालकुलेसन गर्दाखेरि यसरी आएको यो कङ्क्रिट जुन यहाँ भर्नु के अरे उसमा राख्नुभयो, त्यो कङ्क्रिटलाई हामी पार्सियल्ली कम्प्याक्टेड कङ्क्रिट भनेर भन्छौँ। यत्रो हाइटबाट कङ्क्रिट चाहिँ यहाँ फल भएर के आयो त, यहाँनिर के अरे आयो। अब आएपछि केही न केही डेन्सिटी त त्यसले ल्यायो नि हजुर, केही न केही डेन्सिटी ल्यायो। त्यो डेन्सिटी भनेको के हो त, यो सिलिन्डरमा भएको कङ्क्रिटको मास डिभाइड बाई यो सिलिन्डरको भल्युम भनेको यसको डेन्सिटी हो होइन। डेन्सिटीको टर्ममा राख्दा नि हुन्छ। पार्सियल्ली के अरे कम्प्याक्टेड वेट अथवा मास भनेर राख्दा पनि केही फरक पर्दैन, किनभने भल्युम इज कन्स्ट्यान्ट सिलिन्डरको है। फेरि सिलिन्डरको भल्युमलाई मात्रै हो नि, यसको भल्युम हेरे होइन नि। यो सिलिन्डरमा हो नि त, हामीले त अब कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टरको भ्यालु क्यालकुलेसन गर्न लाग्यो। ल यसमा चाहिँ पहिलाको पार्सियल्ली कम्प्याक्टिङ गर्नुभयो। अब त्यही कङ्क्रिट यसलाई चाहिँ फेरि के गर्नुहुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि कम्प्याक्सन गर्नुहुन्छ। कम्प्याक्सन गरेर यो सिलिन्डरमा चाहिँ 3 लेयरमा भर्नुहुन्छ कम्प्याक्सन गरेर। अनि 3 लेयरमा भरिसकेपछि अब यो लेयर पनि आफ्नो आफ्नो ऊ अनुसार फरक छ, टेन्सन नलिनुहोस्। अनि त्यही अहिलेको चाहिँ तपाईँ के गर्नुहुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि 25 स्टक गरेर यसलाई कुनै ठाउँमा 4 चोटि कुनै ठाउँमा 6 चोटि भन्ने पनि छ बुक अनुसार, के अरे स्ट्यान्डर्ड अनुसार। यो तपाईँले के गर्नुहुन्छ त भर्नुहुन्छ। अनि भरिसकेपछि यसलाई लएर वेट गर्नुहुन्छ। हेर्नुहोस् है, यो चाहिँ तपाईँले अहिलेकै कङ्क्रिट अर्को बनाउनु भएको छैन, त्यो कङ्क्रिटलाई आफैले कम्प्याक्सन गर्नुभयो। कम्प्याक्सन गरेर 3 लेयरमा यसलाई भरिदिनु भयो अहिले मानिदिनुहोस्। अथवा तपाईँले सबै कङ्क्रिट राखेर निडल भाइब्रेसन लाएर भाइब्रेसन गर्न पनि सक्नुहुन्छ। यो कङ्क्रिट भर्नुभयो भनेको कम्प्लिट कम्प्याक्सन गर्नुभयो। अब यसको वेट लिनुहुन्छ, यसको वेट लिनुहुन्छ। अनि कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टर CF भनेको के हो त? वेट अफ द पार्सियल के अरे कम्प्याक्टेड कङ्क्रिट टु दि वेट अफ द फुल्ली कम्प्याक्टेड कङ्क्रिट, त्यो दुईटाको रेसियो भनेको तपाईँको लागि के हो त? कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टर हो। यसरी हामी कम्प्याक्टिङ फ्याक्टर निकाल्छौँ। ल भन्नुहोस्, 2 मिनटमा केही कन्फ्युजन भयो भने भन्नुहोस् त।
सर त्यही कन्क्रिटै कम्प्लिट गर्ने हो निकालेर?
हजुर हजुर हो, त्यही कङ्क्रिट हो। अर्को ग्रेड अर्को बनाउनुहुन्न
भनेपछि त्यो जुन तलको सिलिन्डर हुन्छ त्यो निकालेर
हजुर हजुर त्यही गर्ने हो,
चिल्लेमा कम्प्याक्टेड गरेर त्यही कन्क्रिट हाल्ने हो।
हजुर हजुर त्यही कङ्क्रिट हाल्ने हो। एकदम 3 मिनटभित्र सब काम फिनिस गर्नुपर्छ तपाईँले पनि त्यहाँ। बुझ्नुहुन्छ यो? प्लिज एनी कन्फ्युजन यु रेज द क्वेरीज। I do try my best to make understanding of you. Take it easy and be happy with those theory studies, है।
सर यो हरेक लेयरको लागि यो माथि होभरमा हालेर गर्ने हो कि पहिला सबै एकचोटि हालेर अनि निकालेर फेरि त्यो बिस्तारै बिस्तारै हाल्ने हो यसमा सिलिन्डरमा?
ओके, गुड क्वेसन। एउटा क्वेसन उहाँले एकदम राम्रो गर्नु। अरू कसैको छ? थपिहाल्नुहोस् न, म सबैको सर्ट भनिदिन्छु।
त्यो मास त वेट त सेम होला नि, जति कम्प्रेस गरे नि नगरे नि?
ओके, त्यो ल ओके। अनि अरू? ल अब यसलाई यस्तो गरौँ, एउटा यसको ऊ हेरौँ।
यसको भ्यालु त लेस देन 1 आउँछ नि?
हजुर,
लेस देन 1 आउँछ नि भ्यालु?
एक्लै जस्तो गर्नु पर्यो है। ठीक छ?
Students, this is experiment number 6. Do this experiment number 6, compaction factor. This is also one type of method which describes the...
Yes sir, suniye sir.
Like we have done some test method for workability of concrete to find it out. This is also one type of method to find out the workability of concrete. To find out the quantity of concrete is same as the previous method, but this time you have to do your own calculation. You can come to the lab, or when you come to the lab, take the dimensions of this hooper. This is called as hooper. Take the dimensions of this hooper and you find out how much quantity is required to fill this hooper. So after calculations, you have to mix this concrete with the weight of cement, sand and aggregate and water you get. use 0.6 water cement ratio. Water cement ratio is 0.6. So once you've done with your calculations and you prepared your concrete, so the starting procedure is, this is called as hooper, and this is another bottom second hooper, that is general mold. So close these hoopers. So we have an opening here, you can show it now. We have an opening here, so we have to make a small thin layer of oil, make it oily, use oil to the inner surfaces and make it clean and wet. Then close this hooper like this, and this one also close this hooper. Then start filling it with concrete. Before filling the concrete, take the weight of the empty mold. So this is very important. You should take the weight of the empty mold. The weight of the empty mold is 3.2 kg. The weight of the empty mold is 3.2 kg. This time I'm not explaining everything and I'm not doing any calculation. I'll guide you how to do the experiment and I'll show you how to operate the equipment. You can read the procedure and you can understand and you can perform the experiment on your own. Let me think how much student can participate in this type of activity. So once you have filled this hopper with concrete up to the top level, then you have to remove this hooper, and it should be fall down due to its own weight. When you are filling this mold, you do not use any tamping rod and do not compact it. Let it be general compaction by self compaction. Once you fill it, remove this hooper. If it's structured in between like this, you can use this tamping rod, but make gentle tamping just to follow. Okay, once it is fall down, you just use this level to make this another. Sorry, no? Once it is level, then open this second mold. So then it is also filled. Just make sure that it has to be leveled using this stamping rod and clean the surfaces, clean the sides, clean the sides. And go and take the weight of the concrete. Now it is 14.18 kg. It's 14.18 kg. Now if you deduct the weight of the empty mold, you can get the weight of the concrete which is filled by general compaction. Again collect all the concrete and put it in tray. Now you have to fill this mold by general compaction using this tamping rod. Fill this mold in 6 layers. Every time 25 blows. Fill this mold in 6 layers. Just you put 1/6 first. Yes. 25 times. Compaction has to be done to all the sides and this has to be leveled. After filling this in 6 layers, 25 tamps every time, just level this using the stamping rod and again clean the surfaces. Clean. Now take this weight of compacted concrete. It is 15.27. So when you are doing the experiment, you will get different value with different compaction. Don't fix to this weight. You will get another weight. So once you get this weight, again remove the empty weight of the mold. You will get the weight of the compacted concrete. Using the equation provided in the manual, you can find out the compaction factor. So this time I have explained you in a brief to give you a better and normal understanding. You have to prepare on your own and you have to perform this experiment.
ल ठिक छ, बुझ्नुभयो? ल अघि के अरे साथीहरूले सोध्नु भएको थियो नि, यसमा पनि कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि सबभन्दा पहिला हामीले कति पानीमा गर्ने भन्ने कुराहरू यसमा पनि हुन्छ। एकचोटि दुईचोटि पानीमा ट्रायल पनि गर्न मिल्छ। अर्को हिसाबमा चाहिँ यसमा कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि पानी फिक्स गरेर तपाईँलाई चाहिँ कम्प्याक्टिङ सिएफ कति ल्याउने, कति तपाईँको स्ट्यान्डर्ड स्पेसिफिकेसनमा चाहिएको त्यो अनुसार गर्ने पनि हुन्छ। दुईटै विधि हुन्छ होइन। अब सिधीमिति हामीले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि यो कम्प्याक्सनमा चाहिँ पानी ट्रायल गर्दैनौँ भन्ने हुन्छ। किनभने यो कम्प्याक्सन यो 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 यसको उद्देश्य के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि हामीलाई यो नेचरको वर्केबिलिटी चाहिएको छ। जस्तो अब तपाईँलाई चाहिँ एकदमै कहीँ कम्प्याक्सन नै गर्नु नपर्ने, कहीँ एकदमै कम्प्याक्सन गर्नुपर्ने, अनि तपाईँलाई चाहिँ वेट कङ्क्रिट भयो, ड्राई कङ्क्रिट भयो भने त्यस्तो बेलामा चाहिँ एकदमै ड्राई कङ्क्रिट भयो भने पनि त्यो स्लममा चाहिँ हिँड्न सक्दैन भने यहाँ त सक्छ नि त, यहाँ त झर्छ नि। तपाईँले त्यो के अरे रडबाट झार्न पनि सक्नुहुन्न रहेछ। त्यो कारणले यो चाहिँ अलिकति जेनरल र धेरै प्रयोग गर्ने खालको पनि हुन्छ। अब यसमा तपाईँले के गर्नुभयो भन्दाखेरि सिम्पल मैले त्यहाँनिर तपाईँलाई यो भोल्युम चाहिँ कन्स्ट्यान्ट राखिदिए पनि हुन्छ भन्ने खालको हिसाबले कुरा गरेँ। अथवा यसको वेट त तपाईँले लिन परिहाल्यो, त्यहाँ पनि त्यसले त्यसरी नै बतायो होइन। यहाँनिर कङ्क्रिट तपाईँले राख्नुभयो, राखिसकेपछि यहाँबाट फल गराउनुहुन्छ। त्यो भनेपछि फर्स्ट होपर चुज गर्नुभयो, के अरे फिल गर्नुभयो, त्यसपछि सेकेन्ड होपरमा फल गर्नुभयो, त्यसपछि आएकोलाई यसमा के अरे फल गराउनुहुन्छ। अनि त्यसपछि यसको चाहिँ वेट हो। यसरी सेल्फ तरिकाको फल भएर आएकोलाई चाहिँ हामी कहिलेकाहीँ सेल्फ कम्प्याक्टिङ कङ्क्रिट पनि भन्ने गर्छौँ, कहिलेकाहीँ पार्सियली कम्प्याक्टिङ कङ्क्रिट पनि भन्ने गर्छौँ होइन। यो एउटा कुरा भयो। अर्को चाहिँ त्यही कङ्क्रिट देख्नुभयो कि यता यता पोखिएको कङ्क्रिट पनि फेरि ट्रेमा राखेर त्यही कङ्क्रिटलाई यसलाई 6 टाइम्स 25 ब्लोको हिसाबमा। अब हामीले त्यो यो एकदम यो उसले चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै आइएस कोडबाट गरेको हुन्छ होइन। अब हामीले त्यहाँ कहिले कहिले क्लासमा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ ल्याबमा गर्दाखेरि 3 चोटि 4 चोटिमा भरेर हुन्छौँ। तर तपाईँले जहिले पनि के अरे कुनै पनि क्लाइन्टलाई अथवा कुनै पनि कन्सल्टेन्टको हिसाबले कन्ट्र्याक्टरको हिसाबबाट टेस्ट गर्नुपर्ने छ भने त तपाईँलाई चाहिँ 1199 आइएस कोडले चाहिँ वर्केबिलिटीको सबै टेस्ट दिएको छ। 1199 हो जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ विधि नै लेखिदिएको हुन्छ, के लिमिटेसन के हो, कसरी गर्नुपर्छ, अनि कति भ्यालु निकाल्नुपर्छ अर्थ के हो भन्दाखेरि कति आउनुपर्छ स्ट्यान्डर्ड, त्यस्तो इन्फर्मेसनहरू हुन्छ। अनि त्यो अनुसार तपाईँ हामीले गर्ने हो। अनि त्यो गर्दाखेरि त्यहाँ त 6 टाइम्स त्यसलाई गऱ्यो भने कम्प्याक्सन एकदम पर्फेक्टली हुन्छ भन्ने खालको इन्फर्मेसन छ होइन। त्यसको आधारमा गर्ने। अब कुनै कुनै बुकहरूले चाहिँ त्यो स्ट्यान्डर्ड मेथडभन्दा पनि ल्याब within the 1 hour you have to complete your tasks and there are a number of groups to manage in same time भन्ने भयो भने तपाईँलाई 3 चोटि स्ट्यान्डर्ड चाहिँ त्यहाँबाट हेर्ने हो। कि भिभ टेस्ट पनि ठ्याक्क सिद्धाउने हो त्यो भने वर्केबिलिटी तीनटै गरियो भन्ने हुन्छ कि राजकुमार यु फिल बोर एकदम tedious or we can add one
यहाँ ठिक छ गरे अब तपाईकै पिरियड हो गरे अब
ल ल थियो हैन नि तपाईले मलाई पढाउन पर्दाखेरि अलि ढिलो 35 बाट पढाए हुन्छ भन्ने नै थियो के रे अब प्रेजेन्टेसनको हिसाबमा तपाईलाई थाहा छ प्रेजेन्टेसनका आफ्नै रुल त हुन्छ अब यो पहिलोचोटि भएको हुनाले मैले तपाईहरुलाई पहिलोचोटि ह्यान्डलिङ गरेको हुनाले I do like I do provide you the freedom how do you present your skill and when I find some भइहाल्छ फेरि ओके त्यो मैले फेरि तपाईकोबाट के त्यस्तो प्रब्लम अथवा केही मैले सजेसन गर्नुपर्ने खालको भने फेरि अर्कोमा आज रङ भए पनि रङबाट सुरु गर्ने because this type of platform are provided you for learning so learning is by doing and when you are doing something then you feel yourself it is wrong it is right it is good it is bad when you differentiate those things then you can improve yourself what is the best then I do like the same course of action for your presentation skill then most of the student when we are on a different type of professional activities then we people from WRC we have some problems regarding the preparation if you do like such skill in your professional career then you do why not you start from today from this platform त्यो भएको हुनाले यो चीजहरु राखेको हो त्यो भएर त्यसलाई त्यसरी नै बुझ्नु होला ल ठिकै छ मैले यस्तो गरम त ल म तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ टेन्सन नदिम मैले चाहिँ अहिले यतिमै क्लोज गरे अर्को दिन पढौँला बाँकी भएको यो पछि चाहिँ म तपाईहरुको लेक्चर सुन्छु that means your presentation सुन्छु र अब one thing मैले चाहिँ तपाईहरुको चाहिँ 6 पिपलहरु रहेछ भनेर मैले 6 वटा क्वेशन दिएको खास तपाईको 8 जनाको ग्रुप बनाउनु हुन रहेछ हैन जस्तो मैले एबी मा त 8 वटै क्वेशन दिएथे के भनेको इच इन्डिभिजुअल should have to prepare the slide as well as the word file यो त मैले तपाईलाई भनेको थिएँ नि त तपाईले वर्ड फाइल र स्लाइडहरु भन्नु भने मैले एबी को स्टुडेन्टहरुलाई तपाईको मटेरियल दिने तपाईको मटेरियल एबी को चाहिँ तपाईलाई म पठाइदिन्छु अनि त्यसले गर्दा तपाईहरुलाई कस्तो छ भन्दाखेरि अलिअलि इन्फर्मेसन पनि शेयर हुन्छ र मैले तपाईलाई दिएको टाइटलहरुमा त्यो टपिक्सले डिफाइन गरेका इन्फर्मेसन मात्रै नभएर अलिअलि प्रोफेसनल इन्फर्मेसनहरु भोलि लोकसेवा यताउता कम्पिटिसनको लागि चाहिने खालका इन्फर्मेसनहरु पनि शेयर गर्ने तरिकाले हो मैले प्रेजेन्टेसन तपाईहरुलाई गराएको हैन तपाईले केही न केही इन्फर्मेसन त त्यहाँबाट लिनुहुन्छ ओके थ्यांक्स फ्रम माई साइड अब भन्नुस् 10 मिनेट ब्रेक गरेर वी डू स्टार्ट अर so no problem sir we are ready and just you be there and soon भन्नुहुन्छ अब राजकुमारले आन्सर दिनुस्
अरु ब्रेक चाहिन्छ साथीहरु
हजुर तपाईहरु ल म तपाईको हजुर
हैन लगातार गर्दिम न
गरौ सर
लगातार गर्दिम
हजुर सर अहिले नै गर्दिम
okay thank you very much for your good effort I am ready to hear my student very curiously Please, okay, you start the first group 48 to 56 6 हो कि
49 देखि
तपाईँहरू 8 हो 8 भयो सुन्नु न मलाई कस्तो लाग्छ भने यस्तो यो थर्ड इयर भनेको माइ डियर स्टुडेन्ट यो एकदम इन्जिनियरिङ गर्न पायो भने तपाईँहरूले थोरै दिनुभयो नि सर हामी 8 जना थियौँ जम्मा 6 दिनुभयो तपाईँहरूले नै भन्ने हो क्या त्यो मैले चाहिँ पहिला नै सोधेको थिएँ तपाईँहरू 6 जना हुनुहुन्छ कि 8 जना हुनुहुन्छ भनेर मैले कस्तो सोचेछु भने 6 जना हुनुहुन्छ भनेर 6वटा क्वेसन दिएको कि 6वटा क्वेसनको अर्थ के भने इच स्टुडेन्टले इन्डिभिजुअल्ली आफ्नो प्रेजेन्टेसन बनाउनुहुन्छ केही न केही इन्फर्मेसन लिनुहुन्छ अब टपिक्स सेम भयो भने तपाईँको फेरि एउटा कस्तो बानी हुन्छ भने एउटाले गरेपछि अर्काको सुनेर बस्न सक्ने हैसियतै हुन्न कि फिनिस लेट्स लिभ भने जस्तो अब हिजो मैले त्यो एबिका स्टुडेन्टहरूलाई कन्ट्रोल गरिनँ यो मैले अघि नै तपाईँलाई भने नि यो फ्रिडम भएको हिसाबले तपाईँ आफैले फिल गर्ने हो प्रेजेन्टेसनको के तपाईँले सिक्नु भएको त्यो कुरा हेर्ने हो अनि त्यसपछि अनि म बल्ल पछि तपाईँलाई स्लाइड यसरी बनाउने तपाईँले बनाएको स्लाइड भएन अनि त्यसपछि आएर तपाईँको प्रेजेन्टेसनको हिसाबमा प्रेजेन्टिङ गर्दाखेरि कन्टेन्टहरू कस्तो कुरा राख्नुपर्ने हुन्थ्यो तपाईँको टाइटललाई जस्टिफाई हुने गरी कन्टेन्ट भएन हैन कन्टेन्टमा यस्तो कुराहरू राख्नुपर्छ अन्त तपाईँले प्रेजेन्टेसन गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ जुन तपाईँले प्रेजेन्टिङ गर्नुभएको तपाईँको स्किल बेसिकल्ली यस्तो खालको टेक्निक छ तपाईँले यो गर्नुभयो जेनेरल तरिकाले म पछि तपाईँहरूलाई कमेन्ट गर्छु आज मैले तपाईँलाई चाहिँ कुनै पनि यस्तो कन्स्टेन्टहरू रुलहरू यसरी गर्ने भनिनँ मैले मेरो मात्र तपाईँको सबैको भित्रैदेखि इन्ट्रेस्ट के होस् भने प्रेजेन्टेसन हामीलाई चाहिन्छ हामी अहिलेदेखि सिक्ने हो यो एउटा सिक्ने प्लेटफर्म हो यो सरले उपलब्ध गराउनु भएको छ त्यसको लागि चाहिँ हामी तयारी हुनुपर्छ र हामी लेबर पनि गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने मात्रै पोजिटिभ माइन्डसेटमा तपाईँहरू लाग्नु होला म त फेरि म त टिचर हो स्टुडेन्टलाई पढाउने हिसाबमा त मेरो कम्प्रोमाइजै हुँदैन तपाईँहरू जति बजेसम्म पनि ह्याप्पी हुनुहुन्छ म बसिदिन सक्छु मलाई अब आज 3-5सम्म तपाईँकै टाइम हो 3-5 बत्ती हिजो हामी 4:30सम्म बसेका थियौँ होइन नो प्रब्लम होइन सर आज एबीको के अरे सिडीको मात्रै गरौँ आज ह्याङ नै हुन्छ अनि अर्को दिन डीको गरौँ भने नि फेरि म त्यसमा पनि ह्याप्पी नै हो है फेरि ओके लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रम फर्स्ट ग्रुप एन्ड प्लिज युट्युब फलो द मिन्स अफ योर ल्याङ्ग्वेजको हिसाबमा चाहिँ इङ्ग्लिसै सुरु गर्नु होला यो पनि सिक्ने नै हो डोन्ट वरी अनि बिस्तारै सिक्दै जाने हो हिजो पनि गाह्रो हुन्न र सर भन्दैछ हजुर
सर हामीहरूको त्यो प्रेजेन्टेसनको स्लाइड सेयर गर्दा हुन्छ
मैले तपाईँलाई भने है तपाईँहरू इङ्ग्लिसमै प्रेजेन्ट गर्नु होला ल हुन्छ सेयर गर्दा हुन्छ ओके
इना छैन छैन
yes it is visible
देखियो है ल सर मे आई स्टार्ट द प्रेजेन्टेसन Good afternoon everyone. It's me Harendra Singh Dhami. I hope all presenting here are fine. At first, thanks to our sir for offering this such a platform. Thanks to our Nirmal sir for this. Now I want to introduce my teammates with the group C1 of class BCE CD. We are about 8 students starting from 49 to 56 roll number. Now I want to inform you that due to the pandemic this situation, some of our friends they are unable to present here in this season. Only we 5 are presenting this presentation. The topic is gradation of aggregate. We have divided the topic into the following parts: gradation of aggregate. Our friend Goma Bhujil will share our idea about this topic. Similarly, I will be talking about factor affecting the grading of aggregate. In this way, Ina Marjan will present about sieve analysis, and our friend Jaiprakash Mandal will talk about fineness modules of aggregate and grading curves. Finally, last, our friend Kshitij Pagurel will discuss about the classification of aggregate. Hope you will enjoy the presentation. Now, I would like to call Ms. Goma Bhujil to share something about her topic. Goma.
Thank
Hello.
you, Harindra. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Harindra. Welcome to my presentation. मेरो topic चाहिँ gradation of aggregate हो. नानी मेरो slide देखाइदेऊ त. Gradation भनेको चाहिँ क्रमिक परिवर्तनहरूको अनुक्रम हो र
Please, Goma. Sorry for disturbing you, please. Yeah, I have already told you all, please, it is the platform to learn something. That's why you all should use English. Sorry for it.
Excuse me, sir. Hello. Hello, sir.
Okay, Goma, please, you go through, but you use the language English.
Okay, sir. Aggregate is said to be.
Hello, sir.
Okay, Rajkumar, please.
यस्तो मैले त्यो इङ्ग्लिसबाट प्रेजेन्टेसन दिनुपर्छ भनेर इन्फर्म गरिन सर अब आफूलाई जुन कम्फर्ट जोन जुन छ त्यहीमा गर्दा अलिकति
Okay, it's not big issue, don't worry. I am not talking this matter to you. That's why without knowing these things, how do you convey this message to all? No problem. Please, you do not take it very hardship. Just you can proceed as per your ease, but you should choose English, no problem.
Excuse me, sir. Can we go alternatively, sir? Like the first group and after that the second group. Second group, not last group. First group, last group, after that second group, after that second last group. Alternatively, sir.
ए त्यो त केही फरक पर्दैन, त्यो त केही हैन. मैले आज तपाईको 24 जना सिद्धाउने हो. त्यो त ओके, नो प्रब्लम बिस्ट. We can entertain here and there, no problem, but it's a platform for studying. Then you should strictly follow the single language, that is English, because for the presentation here and there, as an engineer, you have to convey the information for the professionals like this way. That's why we have to learn more things. Hello, Goma, start गर्नुस्.
Okay, sir. Gradation of aggregate. Aggregate is said to be graded if it contains particles of various sizes in different proportion. The process of dividing a sample aggregate according to size is called gradation of aggregate. Gradation influences workability, cement constant, water demand, paste requirement in a concrete. For grading of aggregates by practical view, trials and error method is taken into account. It is selected because it considers characters of local materials with respect to size, fraction, shape, texture, etc.
Thank you, Goma. As I have previously mentioned that I'm going to talk about factor affecting grading of aggregate. The topic is factor affecting grading of aggregate. Now, at first you have to know the word grading. What does it mean? It's the arrangement or to classify something. Grading, it means to arrange, or it is the arrangement or to classify about anything. Here is another word, aggregate, in the topic. The word aggregate is structure formed from a combination of several particles. It is the combination of several particles through which a structure is formed. Hence, in a concrete technology, the word grading, it refers to the determination of the particle size distribution of aggregate. Now, let us see the topic, factor affecting grading of aggregate. The factors are surface area of the aggregate, relative volume occupied, workability of the mixture, segregation of mixture. Now, the first factor that affect the grading of aggregate is surface area of aggregate. For a given maximum size of aggregate, larger the size aggregate particle, the lesser the surface area aggregate in a given mixture. This is due to which the less amount of water is required. It is for to weight its surface, and the greater portion of water will be available for imparting workability to the mixture for particular water cement ratio. For a particular water cement, it is to be available for imparting workability. Now the next factor is a relative volume occupied by the aggregate. For a mixture to be satisfactorily workable, it must contain a sufficient amount of material smaller than 300 micron size. The size must be 300 micron. That should include cement particle. Similarly, it should be remembered that the aggregate should occupy as large a relative volume as possible. Why it should be considered and why it is to be remembered? This is due to economic consideration, as aggregate is cheaper than the cement paste. Now the third factor that affect the grading of aggregate is workability of the mixture. Workability of the mixture. The workability is improved when there is an excess of paste above that required to fill the void in the fine aggregate. In case of fine aggregate, for improving the workability, there should be excess of paste. Similarly, an excess of mortar above that required to fill the void in the coarse aggregate. But in case of coarse aggregate, excess of mortar should be there. Now, finally, the last factor about that affect the grading of aggregate is segregation. At first, we should know the term segregation. Segregation, it means it is defined as the separation of constituent of heterogeneous mixture so that their distribution is no larger uniform. Heterogeneous mixture where the composition are not uniform. The main causes of segregation in case of concrete can be, there are mainly two causes. They are difference in the size of particles and specific gravity of the mixed constituent. These two are the causes, but its extent can be controlled by the choice of suitable grading and by caring in handling. This was, thank you. Now I would like to call Miss Ina.
Good afternoon. The topic in my part is sieve analysis. Sieve analysis is done to determine the grading of the aggregate or the size distribution of the aggregate. We have done sieve analysis in previous semester also. In sieve analysis, what we do is we divide the aggregate according to particle size and then we get the grading curves. Sieve analysis can be done for coarse aggregate, fine aggregate or combined aggregate as well. First, the sieve of different sizes according to IS code are arranged by mounting them over each other with large size at the top and smaller size at the bottom, and then the sample of the aggregate is sieved successfully through uh, all the sieves. Then some amount of aggregate is written on each sieve. The aggregate is coarser than the sieve on which it is retained and finer than the sieve above it. We measure the mass retained in each sieve and then fill it in the table as shown here. Here the first table is for coarse aggregate and the second table is for fine aggregate, and for combined aggregate the table is like this. For for this table, the columns include the size of IS sieve, the mass retained, cumulative mass retained, and cumulative percentage retained. These are in for coarse aggregate. We have for coarse aggregate, we have 5 different size of IS sieve, and for fine aggregate, we have 6 different size of IS sieves, and then for combined aggregate, we have total of both coarse and fine aggregate. On the mass retained column, we write the mass retained in the IS sieves, and for cumulative mass retained column, we add the mass retained in all the upper sieves as well. Finally, in cumulative percentage retained, we convert the cumulative mass retained into the cumulative percentage retained, and then finally on the pan we should get 100% cumulative percentage retained. This cumulative percentage retained is plotted against the particle size in a semi-log graph, and grading curve is obtained, which is the next topic.
Thank you. Now I would like to call Mr. Jay Prakash Mandal to share about his topic.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Here, fineness modulus of aggregate is in my part, and I am going to explain it. The fineness modulus of aggregate is an index which describes the average particle size in aggregate, and it is the sum of cumulative percentage retained upon 100%. And after calculating fineness modulus, we can decide whether it is coarse or medium or fine particle, and from this obtain value, if FM varies from 2 to 3.5, it is fine aggregate. If it varies from 5.5 to 8, it is called coarse aggregate, and then if it varies from 3.5 to 6, for all in size aggregate. Next slide, please. And now next topic is grading curve. Grading curve is the curve drawn for average size particle, which is obtained by sieve analysis. And from that curve, we can decide whether it is gap graded or well graded aggregate. That's all.
Thank you. Now I would like to call.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Still one, eh?
Yes, sir. Last one.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now I would like to call Mr. Chitiz Pakurel to share something about his topic. Chitiz.
Hello everyone. I hope you all are not feeling sleepy. So moving directly into my part, I'm discussing about the type of aggregates on the basis of gradation. Well, we have 5 types of aggregates on the basis of gradation. Moving on to the first one, well graded aggregate. As the name suggests, refers to a sample of aggregate that has approximately equal amount of various size of aggregate. It means it contains particles of a wide range of sizes and has a good representation or evenly representation of all sizes between the particles lying between sieve number 4 and 200. Second type of aggregate is gap graded aggregate. It refers to a sample with very little aggregate or no aggregate in the medium size range. It means grading in which one or more intermediate size fractions are absent in of medium size range. So in grading curve also it represents a horizontal line over the range of sizes that are absent. Moving on to our third type, poorly graded aggregate or narrow graded aggregate or uniform graded aggregate. It refers to a sample that has aggregate of approximately the same size. This means that the particles packed together and leaves a relatively large void. This means the particles are approximately of the same size, which causes voids between them. The grading curve is also steep, as you can see in previous slide of grading curve. Or Ina, please move towards next slide. Open graded aggregate. It refers to sample of aggregate with high proportion of
Maybe is electricity gone.
Hello.
Hello, I think his internet
Electricity
problem.
is not responding, sir.
Okay. Anyway,
Thank you, sir.
Ms.
Thank you
Dhani.
all.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Then you for your good presentation. I do comment later for each group. So anyway, you all did well. The next group. Okay, please.
Hello.
Yes, Apupa, you are audible, but still slide sharing.
स्लाइड देखिए होइन लेखराज
No. Lekhraj, please still not seen the slide. Are you maybe on sharing?
Is slide visible now?
I think it is on sharing. Okay, it is visible. Okay, you can go, please.
Thank you. They may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Truly said by Carl Buchner. Presentation, a great opportunity to express ourselves. On the behalf of Group C2, allow me to extend warm welcome to all. Thank you, respected sir, for providing this opportunity to present on provided topics. I am Kushal Gautam, roll number 57. Today we are here to talk you about chemical properties of aggregates. The purpose of this presentation is to present about chemical properties of aggregates. Next slide, please. Our presentation depicts about chemical composition and reaction of aggregates. Let me start with some general information on aggregate and its chemical properties. Aggregates are chemically inert granular materials such as sand, gravel, slag, crust, which is dispersed in cement paste to make concrete. On focusing our topic, chemical properties, the chemical properties of aggregates have to do with the molecular structure of the minerals in the aggregate particles. Chemical properties mainly comprises with its composition, its reaction with asphalt and cement, alkali aggregate reaction, and some other alkali silica reaction and alkali carbonate reaction. Composition deals with determining difference between limestone and dolomite. Reaction with asphalt deals with mineral aggregates effect. Alkali aggregate reaction confines with silica in aggregate. The more detail on these topics are to be discussed by our rest group members. Proceeding to Lekras Bhattrai, I would like to finish my part. Thank you, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lekras Bhattrai. I hope all of us are fine and doing great. In today's presentation, our group gets the topics chemical properties of aggregate, and we are sharing it part by part. And so I get the composition part. As all of us know that the chemistry of aggregate or any other materials depend upon its composition. So, so determining the difference between limestone and dolomite is significant in the composition of aggregate, where limestone is carbonate rock consisting mainly calcium carbonate, which has a tendency to smooth under traffic. Hence, limestone aggregate is limited to use in low traffic volume, SMS surface course. And in other hand, dolomite or dolostone is also carbonate rock mainly consisting magnesium carbonate. Dolostone mainly maintains a higher friction under traffic, so it can be used in higher traffic volume location. Indian Department of Transportation, IDOT uses elemental magnesium content test to determine if a rock source is dolomitic or not. For that, if elemental magnesium content of 10 to 3% or above present, then it can be used for aggregate. Here, the difference between limestone and dolomite is significant in the chemical composition. So I described somehow the importance of limestone and dolomite rocks in aggregate. This much is in my part, so other will be described by our other friends. Thank you, sir. Thank you for listening. Take care, everyone. Good day.
Hi everyone, I am Mamta. I will be discussing about the composition of aggregates. So let's get started. Aggregate includes gravel, cross, stone, sand, slag, etc. Aggregates should be free from absorbed harmful chemicals. However, some aggregate minerals with important properties like oxidation, hydration, and carbonation. These properties are usually not harmful, though they may be harmful while making the Portland cement. The substances like iron sulfides, ferric and ferrous oxides, free lime and free magnesia, etc. are the substances which affect the Portland cement. They give slightly unpleasant appearance and cause distress to the cement. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Okay, next. You completed? Okay.
Hello everyone, myself Mohammad Asif Khan. I am going to
Okay, you can go through the slide. There are several reaction with asphalt and cement. I think is internet also in good quality. Is it a last presenter? No.
No, sir. There is another.
Okay, Kausal, you can assign the another friend.
Monish, you can continue. Monish Powder.
Hello everyone, myself Manish Paurel. I am going to describe about alkali aggregate reaction. Generally, aggregates are called inert materials and they need to be inert, but they are not fully inert. Aggregate may contain silica, which is reactive and reacts with the alkali present in the cement. High alkali content in the cement are the most important factors contributing to the alkali aggregate reaction. As per in standard specification, in contents of alkali in the cement should be less than 0.6%. Alkali aggregate reaction usually results in the formation of a gel which in the presence of moisture swells and causes internal expansion with extensional strength that exceeds the tensile strength capacity of the concrete, causing the cracking. That is the main characteristics of alkali aggregate reaction. This alkali aggregate reaction has two forms: alkali silica reactions, which is called ASR, and alkali carbonate reaction, which is called ACR. Alkali silica reaction is of more concern because aggregates containing reactive silica materials are more common. The alkali aggregate reaction is greatly propagated by a relative humidity of 80% or more. Like all the chemical reactions, alkali aggregate reactions is affected by temperature in general. The rate of reaction and formation of gel will increase if the temperature rises. Also, the particle size and porosity influence the surface area over which the reaction takes place. There are other factors which affects the alkali aggregate reactions are given in the screen. They are such as quality of cement, permeability of paste, reactive type of aggregates, quantity of cement, availability of water in paste. The hygroscopic gel swells and increase in volume when absorbing water. It exerts an expansive pressure inside the siliceous aggregate, causing spalling and loss of strength of concrete, finally leading to its failure. In summary, alkali aggregate reaction is a deleterious chemical reaction between some siliceous materials in the aggregate and alkalinity of concrete. This produces expansive gel after the cement has set, which then causes internal pressure, leading to expansion and cracking of the concrete. Thank you.
Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Mechanism of concrete deterioration by alkali aggregate reaction. Simply, alkali aggregate reaction means the reaction between alkali present in cement and the reactive silica present in aggregate. Initially, aggregate contain siliceous material which reacts with alkalis present in cement, that is sodium oxide and potassium oxide. Due to the reaction between alkali and silica present in aggregate, silicate gel is formed which swells after absorbing water. And after absorbing water, internal pressure is created due to which expansion and cracking occurs. These cracks results in subsequent loss in strength and elasticity. In this way, concrete is deteriorated, which may lead to failure of the structure.
Hi, it's me, Milan Gartimagar, roll number 63. Thank you, respected sir, for providing this platform. Today I'm going to describe about preventive measures of alkali aggregate reaction. As you know that alkali aggregate reaction causes the distortion of the concrete, increase in internal volume expansion. As a result, it destroys the concrete structure in micro level structure. So it is necessary to prevent such alkali aggregate reaction. So for this, we have to use cement having low alkali content. Similarly, we have to use inert aggregate so that there could not occur any reaction between alkali and aggregate. We have to control moisture condition and temperature condition also so that there will not increase in reaction between alkali and aggregate. Similarly, we have to use pozzolans. Pozzolans. Pozzolans are the fine materials that reduces the bleeding and reduces the maximum rise in temperature. This was for preventive measure. And here we have two symmetric diagram. First is about alkali silica reaction and second is about alkali carbonate reaction. Alkali silica reaction occurs when certain aggregate reacts with alkali hydroxide in concrete and form a gel that swells so that it affects the concrete structure. Similarly, another is alkali carbonate reaction. Alkali it was first introduced in Canada in 1950s. Uh, During this reaction, alkali from the cement might react with dolomite crystal present in the aggregate, okay, inducing the internal expansion so that it destroys the concrete structure. This much for chemical properties of aggregate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your good presentation. Okay, next group.
स्क्रिन देखिया छ
Oh yeah, it is visible. Your sound is good. You can proceed.
Hello everyone, it's me Naveen Acharya. Today me along with my friends of group C3 are presenting you all about the mechanical properties of the aggregate. Firstly, I want to make you all clear about the definition of the mechanical property, what its meaning. Mechanical property of any material deals with how the material will react to the external force, or the what is the reaction of the material against the force. Now, in the same way, mechanical properties of aggregate means the ability of the aggregate to resist against the force, or the aggregate's reaction, how it reacts against the applied force. And here it's listed the four mechanical properties of the aggregate. First one is the crushing strength, impact value or toughness, abrasion strength or hardness, and the bone and bone strength. Firstly, I want to tell you all about the crushing strength. Crushing strength of an aggregate gives the measure of compressive force it can bear. Compressive force means the physical force that compresses the aggregate. No, so the crushing strength of an aggregate gives the measure of compressive force. Means the crushing strength means the ability of the aggregate to resist against the compressive force, and the compressive strength of the concrete cannot exceed that of the aggregate used therein. It means that the aggregate we are using here, it must be of good strength. If the aggregate will be of the good strength, then ultimately our concrete will be of the good strength. No, it is the major property to be dealt as later. It relates to the compressive force that concrete can bear. The strength of coarse aggregate is assessed by the aggregate's crushing test. And in the next slide, we will be speaking about the aggregate crushing value. So the aggregate crossing value or aggregate crossing test tells us about the resistance capacity of the cross aggregate against the compressive force. Now, to achieve a high quality of the payment, aggregate processing the low aggregate crossing values will be preferred. The aggregate we will be using in the pavement or the road construction, it must be of the low crushing strength, because if the aggregate will be of the low crushing strength, then it will give the longer service life to the road. Now, if it will give the longer service life to the road, then it will be economical for the professional life or the for the further use. No, and here it's the procedure to determine the aggregate crossing value. And here you can see the different apertures, and first in the first three figure you can see it's the measuring cylinder, the mold, and the plunger. And it's the second one is the apertures arrangement, and the third one is the compressive strength testing machine. And now we will go through the procedure. At first, a sample of aggregate passing through the 12.5 mm sieve and written on 10 mm sieve is taken. At first, we take a sample of the aggregate that must pass through the 12.5 mm sieve, and it must be written on the 10 mm sieve. And in the second step, this sample of aggregate in saturated surface dry condition is filled in the cylindrical container. The sample must be in the dry condition, and we fill this sample in the cylindrical container in the 3 layers. And first we fill the first layer in, and in the first layer we give the 25 number of the tamp by the help of the tamping rod. No, and again we fill the second layer, and in the second layer also we will do the same procedure by heating by the tamping rod for the 25 times, and we fill the third layer, and in the third layer also we will do the same procedure. And after the cylinder will fill, the surface will be leveled, and the weight of the sample in the cylinder is taken and let it be W1. And now the plunger is placed on the surface. Now, if in the cylindrical surface, we now fill the plunger, and you can see in the second figure, the arrangement will look like this after arranging the plunger above the cylindrical mold. Now the setup is placed in the testing machine. You can see the third figure. Third figure is the testing machine. The second aperture or the second setup we will now place in the compressive strength testing machine. And now the plunger will apply a total load of 40 tons in the 10 minutes. Now after that we remove the load. Now after the placing the mold or the apertures in the testing machine, we remove the then we remove the load of the plunger. Then aggregate is taken out and sieved through the 2.36 mm sieve. Then after the aggregate will be taken out, and it must be sieved through the 2.36 mm sieve. And the weight of the fraction that will be passing through the 2.36 mm sieve will be taken and let it be W2. And finally, we will find the aggregate crossing value by using the formula W2 by W1 into 100%. And you can see the apertures used in this procedure over here. And the next property, next mechanical property of the aggregate is the impact value or the toughness. It is the ability of the aggregate to resist the effect of sudden impact or shock and the repeating loads. The aggregate we will be using in the pavements or the for the construction of the roads. As we all know that in the road, the aggregate will be facing through the different impact or the shock, and it will be facing the different repeating loads. So the impact value of the aggregate must be determined for the economical and the longer service life of the road. Now, impact test is the type of the quality control test which is used to check the suitability of aggregate to be used in the various construction. Hence, the main use of the test is to determine the impact value of the aggregate used in the pavement. As I told, the impact value of the aggregate plays a vital role for the longer service life of the aggregates that we used in the road or any other further construction. So we will need to determine the impact value of the aggregate. And the second use of this test is to assess their suitability in the road layers, base course or the surface course construction on the basis of impact value. Now we will be talking about the procedure to determine the aggregate impact value. And here you can see the apertures arrangement for the testing of the aggregate impact value. Now for this, a sample of aggregate passing through 12.5 mm and written on 10 mm is taken, as we have discussed earlier in the previous value to determinations. Here we will do here the same process. The aggregate sample must pass through the 12.5 mm sieve, and it must be written on the 10 mm sieve. Now this sample of aggregate is dried for 4 hours. Now this sample we will be keeping it in the oven for the 4 hours at the, 100 to 110 degrees Celsius. Now, and in the third step, the dried sample is cooled and filled in a cylindrical container in 3 layers. As we have done earlier, as we have speak about the earlier slide, the dried sample is now cooled and it's filled in this cylindrical container in the 3 layers. And we will fill the first layer and we will heat it by the damping rod for the 25 times. Again, we will fill the second layer, and again we will heat it by the damping rod for the 25 times, and we will continue this process till the third layer. And now the weight of the sample is taken and let it be W1. The weight of the sample that's placed in the cylindrical container after the tamping by the damping rod is now taken and let it be W1. This aggregate sample is placed in the impact load testing machine. Here you can see the impact load testing machine. Now the aggregate sample is now placed in the impact load testing machine, in which the impact load is applied through the 15 number of standard hammer falling from the height of 300 mm. In the in here in this figure you can see the hammer. Now the hammer is allowed to fall from the 380 mm, and we will give a 15 number of blow to the sample. The aggregate is then taken out and sieved through the 2.36 mm, and then we will take the aggregate from that aperture or that machine, and we will sieve it through the 2.36 mm sieve, and the weight of the sample or the fraction passing through the 2.36 mm sieve is taken and let its weight be W2. And finally, the aggregate impact value is calculated by using the formula W2 by W1 into 100%. So after finding the impact value of the stone or the aggregate, we must know whether it is suitable for the construction purpose or not. So the aggregate value, if the aggregate value is less than 10%, then it's called exceptionally strong, then we can use it for the our construction purposes. And if the aggregate impact value is 10 to 20%, then it is categorized as strong aggregate. And if the aggregate impact value is 10 to 30%, it is satisfactory for the road surfacing. And if the aggregate impact value is greater than 35%, then we consider it as weak for the road surfacing. So now to continue the further slide, I will like to call Neeraj Acharya.
Hello everyone, my name is Neeraj Acharya and my topic to cover is abrasion strength test. As you know, abrasion is the another most important properties of aggregate, and so you can slide, and it represents the resistance against the wear and tearing effect. And hardness or the resistance to wear is an important property of aggregate used in road, floor and pavement, where the concrete is subjected to heavy traffic. It is generally expressed as a percentage Loss of weight. When vehicles travel on road, the soil particles present in the pneumatic tires of vehicle and road surface creates abrasion effect on aggregate, and it is basically due to the friction and the steel plate of animal driven vehicles cause significant abrasion of the road surface. Therefore, the aggregate used in construction must be hard enough to resist the abrasion, and the hardness can be calculated, or the abrasion value can be calculated by the three methods. They are Los Angeles Terry abrasion test and Devil attrition test. Moving to next slide. And Devil attrition test. The purpose of this test is to determine the attrition value, and the apparatus here required are the iron cylinder, and we need aggregate whose attrition test is to be determined, and the aggregate is placed in the iron cylinder and it is rotated 10,000 times at a certain speed. It may be 20 to 30 revolution per minute. And the ratio of material crust finer than 1.7 mm size, which is sieved through that 1.7 mm size sieve, and is expressed as a percentage of original material, and this is called attrition value of aggregate. And moving to next, dairy abrasion test, and this test is also very important test, and for calculating the abrasion value of the aggregate. This test involves subjecting a cylinder of 25 centimeter height and 25 centimeter diameter to abrasion against the rotating discs sprinkled with sand, and this squash sand causes rubbing action with aggregate, due to which the aggregate is crushed, and the loss of weight of the aggregate, loss of weight of the cylinder after the 100 evolution of table is determined, and the hardness can be calculated by the formula given as hardness is equal to 20 minus loss in gram by 3. And for good rock, this value should not be less than 17, and if it is less than 14, then it is considered as poor rock and it is neglected for further use. Next slide. And the test which we generally practice mostly is Los Angeles test, and it was generally introduced to overcome some defect in Devil test, and because it is applicable for all types of aggregate. And the apparatus required are similar to the Devil attrition test. They are a rotating cylinder and some steel balls, charged steel balls are added in it. Initially, we take 5 kg of samples of aggregate, which is placed in the rotating cylinder, and it is rotated at about 20 to 30 revolution per minute. And rotation may depends on the grading of aggregate also. For grading A, B, C, D, it is rotated at 500 times, and similarly for EFG, it may be rotated at 1000 revolution per minute, and the crust particle is then sieved through the 1.75 mm sieve, and the particle is smaller than 1.7 mm sieve is separated, and the loss in weight is expressed as the percentage of original weight of the material. And for this, the calculated abrasion value should not be more than 30% for the wearing surface like floor, pavement, and road, and for other purposes, it should not be more than 50% for other non-wearing surface. Can be used for different purposes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Namrata Acharya, and today I'm talking about the mechanical property I'm talking about is bond strength. So simply, uh, sir, आवाज So the mechanical property I'm talking about is bond strength.
Bond simply means to bind together, and here bond is the interlocking capacity of the aggregate and the addition between the aggregate and the cement paste. Similarly, the resistance developed to split the aggregate particle from the hardened cement paste is known as bond strength. There are various factors that influence the bond strength, such as the shape and size of the aggregate and the texture of the aggregate. Talking about the shape of aggregate, aggregate is divided into different can be found in different type of shape, such as rounded aggregate, irregular aggregate, angular aggregate, flaky aggregate, etc. As the name suggests, rounded aggregate are round in shape and they are used to increase the workability, and they can be found in the near the river, sea, etc. Similarly, irregular aggregate is used in medium quality concreting, and flaky aggregate are used in low quality concreting. The best among these is angular aggregate, which is used to increase the bond strength between the cement paste and the aggregate. Likewise, texture means whether the surface is smooth or dry. In case to increase the bone strength, we prefer the aggregate which are dry in surface, and that helps to increase the bonding strength, bonding ability of the aggregate. There are no direct tests to evaluate the bond property. In general, when the bond is good, not all the aggregate will separate from the concrete mix. And this much so. Thank you.
Okay, your group completed. Okay, thank
Yes.
you for this good presentation. Okay, then next. If you feel tired, then we can be.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the fourth group, including the members from roll number 73 to 80. We are presenting on physical properties of aggregate. Slide दिखिरहेछ है?
Yes, please. It is visible and your sound is audible, no problem.
Okay, thank you, sir. Physical property means the outward look of the aggregate, like how it looks. Right? It includes the size and shape, texture, bulk density, specific gravity. I'm presenting on the first point, size of the aggregate. Size refers to the dimension of the aggregate. The size of the aggregate means the length, breadth, the measurable portion of the aggregate. Greater the size of the aggregate, we require the less amount of binding materials, that is cement. Right? Generally, the maximum size of aggregate should be as large as possible within the limits specified. Within the limit, but in any case not greater than 1/4 of the minimum thickness of the member. So the size of the aggregate to be used in the field, in the column and the plastering are not same. So we should also take into consideration about that. Using the largest possible maximum size will result in a reduction in the cement content, as I mentioned above. Less requirement of cement content means less money, right? Reduction in the water requirement. We have cement water ratio, so less cement means less water requirement. Third thing is reduction of drying shrinkage. After the concrete dries, the possibility of shrinkage also reduces. As if we use the largest possible maximum size of the aggregate. We have two categories: fine aggregate and a coarse aggregate. We have already studied it in previous semesters. Right? The aggregates having size less than 4.75 mm are fine aggregate, and greater than 4.75 mm are coarse aggregate. This much for my part. Thank you.
Hello, good morning everyone. Hope you are all fine there. It's me Nishal Kafle. Today our presentation topic is about physical property of aggregate. Here we subdivide the topic into 7 parts, of which shape of the aggregate is in my part. Now I briefly introduce the shape of aggregate, which is the basic physical property of aggregate. Here, the shape of the aggregate affects workability, which mean if the size of the aggregate are round in shape, then the workability of the concrete is easier. The shape of the aggregate is determined by characteristics of parent rock and the type of the crust used. Shape of the aggregate is classified as rounded, irregular, angular, and flaky. And the flaky concrete aggregate is as shown in figure. As we know, angular and elongated aggregates, which have a higher surface to volume ratio, will have better bond characteristics, but require more cement paste to provide a workable mixture. Similarly, rough surface generate a strong bond between the paste and the aggregate, creating a high strength. As we are familiar that uniform size leads to greatest spacing, whereas range of size of aggregate leads to body space are filled and the paste requirement is lowered. So in this way, shape of the aggregate play a vital role in attaining the good strength of the concrete. This is my part. Thank you.
Hello everyone, and today I'm presenting on the topic texture of aggregate. The surface texture is the measure of relative smoothness or roughness, and the more the surface is smooth, the less will be contact area, hence the bonding will be loose. And if the surface of aggregate will be rough, then the contact area will be more, hence the bonding will be more, hence the bond will be more strong. So we will prefer the aggregate having uh, rough surface. And that is all in my part, and I would like to sign out from here. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Nitesh Powder. My topic of presentation is bulk density of aggregate. So let me start. Bulk density. It is the ratio of weight of the aggregates occupied in a given volume. It is also known as unit weight. So bulk density is equal to weight of aggregates to the volume of aggregates. Bulk density shows how densely the aggregate is packed with when filled in a standard manner. The higher the bulk density, lower is the void content to be filled by sand and cement. It means that if the bulk density is higher, the void ratio will be low, so we require less amount of sand and cement, and so it is better from the economical point of view as well. For determination of bulk density, the aggregates are filled in a container of known volume and are compacted in a standard manner. It means to determine bulk density, we take a cylinder of size about 3 liter, fill it with aggregates in 3 layers, and each layer are compacted. Then we weight the cylinder and divide it with the volume of the cylinder to determine the bulk density. This was for my part. Thank you. Next part will be presented by Osan Adhikari.
Good afternoon. My name is Osan Adhikari, and today I am going to describe about specific gravity. and it is the measure of the quantity or strength of the material. Specific gravity of aggregate lies between 2.6 to 2.8, and the aggregate which have low specific gravity generally indicates porous, weak, and absorbent materials, whereas the high specific gravity indicates material of good quantity. Thank you.
Hello, sound आइरहेको छ मेरो? Hello.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we are hearing. Please.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Pankaj Pokhrel, and my topic for today is absorption and moisture content. So absorption is concerned about how aggregates absorb moisture. Moisture absorption is due to the aggregate being porous. So some of the aggregates are porous and absorptive. Porosity and absorption of aggregate will affect the water-cement ratio and hence the workability of concrete. This means if aggregate is filled with moisture, then the water-cement ratio of the aggregate or the concrete is affected. As we know, the water-cement ratio of the concrete is very important for its strength. So the change in water-cement ratio may alter the strength of the concrete. So if the aggregate is filled up with moisture, then more amount of cement is to be added to make the water-cement ratio constant, which also affects the workability as well as it also makes the concrete to be more uneconomical. So and the other is the porosity of aggregate will also affect the durability of the concrete. This means if the aggregate is porous, then the durability of the concrete is affected due to the moisture present inside the aggregate, which may freeze and expand in volume. Due to which it may provide internal stress to the concrete, making the concrete very weak from inside. And I have shown 4 pictures of the aggregate here. One is the one of the pictures shows the bone dried aggregate. This type of aggregate has no water inside its voids as well as at the surface. This type of aggregate can be achieved by oven drying the aggregate for the specified number of hours. And the other type of aggregate is the air dried aggregate. This type of aggregate has partially filled water inside its voids, and at the surface it has no water. And the other aggregate is the saturated and surface dry aggregate. It has no water or no moisture at the surface, but it has saturatedly filled water in its voids, whereas the moist aggregate has water filled in its inside voids as well as the outside surface with water. And we can also determine the water absorption of the aggregate in laboratory. For this, we take a sample of aggregate and place it inside oven for the specified number of hours, and weight the aggregate after taking it out of the sample and note its weight as W1. And again we place the aggregate inside the water, or we soak the aggregate inside the water for 24 hours, and then again after taking out the aggregate from the soaked water, we measure the weight of the aggregate and mark it as W2. Then the ratio of the difference between the two aggregates, that is one oven dried from the aggregate soaked inside water to the previously oven dried aggregate expressed as percentage, gives the water absorption of the aggregate in percentage. Thank you. This much from my part.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Pravesh Raj Adhikari. Now it's my turn, and I'm going to explain more about bulking of aggregate. As you all know, when dry aggregates on contact with air, it creates a film due to the property of water or moisture that surface tension, and creates a sudden expansion, which causes increase in volume of the overall aggregate, which is known as bulking. That means the increase in volume due to presence of moisture content is called bulking. Yeah, and causes of bulking: when the aggregate comes in contact with aggregate, that due to property of that surface tension, it creates tensional force on the property, and due to some air voids creates that results the overall pushing of particles, which causes expansion on the real volume of that aggregate. In this way, the original volume and final volume after contacting air gets changes in this way. Now, effect of moisture on bulking. Now, we also see here a diagram that percentage increase in volume on side of y-axis and percentage of moisture content on x-axis. As मोइस्चर कन्टेन्ट यसमा चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि हाम्रो 4 to 6% मोइस्चर कन्टेन्ट चाहिँ त्यो एग्रिगेटमा जाँदै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ हाम्रो बल्किङ इफेक्ट चाहिँ अब 25 to 40% त्यसमा देखिन्छ। अनि अब हामीले फर्दर मोइस्चर कन्टेन्ट इन्क्रिज गर्दै गयौँ, त्यसपछि 15 to 20% पुग्दै गर्दा त्यसमा चाहिँ नो चेन्ज, त्यसपछि चाहिँ के पनि चेन्ज देखिँदैन, अथवा त्यो जुन ओरिजिनल मासिस हुन्छ त्यही टाइपको देखिन्छ। त्यो किन कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दा वेन त्यो आएको कन्ट्याक्टमा आएको त्यो सर्फेस त्यो गएपछि त्यो सर्फेस टेन्सनको त्यो नेचर त्यो लेभलमा त्यो लेभलको त्यो वाटर कन्टेन्ट मोइस्चर कन्टेन्टमा जाँदाखेरि त्यो ओभरअल आफैमा ब्रेकडाउन भएर त्यो फिल्म लेयर क्रिएट गराउन सक्दैन। त्यही भएर त्यसले चाहिँ खासै फर्दर एडिसनल मास गेन गर्न सक्दैन। अनि यो ग्राफले चाहिँ कस्तो नेचर हामीलाई देखाउँछ भन्दा मोर फाइनर मोर बल्किङ इफेक्ट एन्ड मोर कोर्स लेस बल्किङ इफेक्ट। अब इफेक्ट अफ बल्किङ अन एग्रिगेट कन्क्रिएट चाहिँ कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दा बल्किङ सोच कम्प्लिट अनरियलिस्टिक भोल्युम, अनि इफेक्ट कस्तो इफेक्ट अन भोल्युम ब्याचिङ द कन्क्रिट इज अन्डरस्ट्यान्डेड एन्ड हार्ड्स, इट विल अल्सो एफेक्ट द एल्ड अफ कन्क्रिट फर गिभन कन्क्रिट अफ सिमेन्ट। फेरि अर्को कस्तो हुन्छ भन्दा यो फाइन एग्रिगेट कोर्स एग्रिगेटमा जाँदाखेरि यो एब्सोल्युट स्पेसिफिक ग्राभिटी र बल्क स्पेसिफिक ग्राभिटीले गर्दाखेरि पर्फर्मेसन क्रिएट भनेको डाइरेक्ट इम्प्याक्ट पर्न जान्छ। फर टुडे, थ्याङ्क यू।
Okay, thank you very much. You completed. The next group then. Still we have 30 minutes. Within this time.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please. You are audible.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone is fine there. Respected sir and my dear friends, today I am going to deliver a short presentation on the topic thermal properties of concrete. Me and our team have prepared the content of the presentation. Let me first introduce the members of our team. Me, myself, also Bist, Province Resta, Pradeep Paudel, Pradeep Bohra, Prajal Paudel, Prashant Baral, Prashant Jishi, Pratik Sigdal. Before jumping to the presentation, I would like to thank to our respected sir for providing this opportunity to develop ourselves as a speaker. Let me first start with the introduction to thermal properties of concrete. Thermal properties of aggregates. What is aggregate? Actually, it is a filler that is used to make cement. It is a inert granular material. And then what is thermal properties? Thermal properties, it deals with specific heat, thermal conductivity, coefficient of thermal expansion. Now let's move to the thermal properties of aggregates. Thermal properties of aggregates is the idea to understand the behavior of aggregate to heating and cooling. The study of thermal properties of aggregate is an important aspect while dealing with the durability of concrete. The principal thermal properties of aggregates are first specific heat, after that thermal conductivity and coefficient of thermal expansion. What is specific heat? Specific heat is a measure of its heat capacity. It is defined as the quantity of heat required to raise the temperature of unit mass of a material by 1 degree centigrade. It increases with the moisture content of aggregate and is also affected by mineralogical character of the aggregate. If the moisture content of aggregate is increased, then the specific heat also increases. and it is also affected by the mineralogical character of the aggregate. Specific heat increases with increase in temperature and also increases with decrease in the density of aggregate. Means if the temperature is increased, specific heat is also increased, and if there is decrease in the density of aggregate, then there is increase in the specific heat. Now, for further continuity of the presentation, I would like to hand over this virtual stage to my friend Mr. Prajwal Paudel. Thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. Before starting my presentation, I would like to say something about my group. And our group comprises of very dynamic, energetic, and hardworking members. And after a long dedication, after a hard dedication, we we created this short and sweet slide. Now, I would like to continue about the subject matter, the formal concept. I think we all read from the class 11 about this. It is just a capacity to conduct the heat, and it is measured in joules per second per square meter when the temperature difference is 1 degree Celsius per meter thickness of the body. नि यसको चाहिँ यसै युनिट चाहिँ वाट पर मिटर पर केल्भिन हुन सक्छ। हामीले चाहिँ न्युमेरिक गर्दाखेरि धेरैले बिर्सेका हुन्छौँ यसको यसै युनिट। एन्ड higher aggregate results in higher thermal conductivity of concrete. Now, and the next slide. Project. Okay, now talking about the coefficient of the thermal expansion. There are three types of thermal expansion. First, linear and surface and volumetric expansion. And the linear expansion is the increase of, it is the change in unit length per unit change of temperature. In concrete, it depends upon the mix proportion. It ranges between the 5 into 10 to the power minus 6. I think there is a mistake. And 12 into 10 to the power minus 6. Quartz have high values of coefficient of thermal expansion, whereas and limestone and copper have low values. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next.
Hello, Pushkar.
Okay, next group, please.
Hello, Pushkar. Pushkar Praveen.
Sharing.
Okay.
Just a minute. Is it visible?
Yes, visible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Good sound. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are the group from roll number 89 to 96, and I am Pratiksha Ryal. While studying concrete technology and masonry structures, Sir gave us different topics for presentation, and our topic is handling and stories of aggregates. After we produce aggregates in factories, we have to take it to our destination sites such as bridges, roadways, drainage, etc. In this process, aggregates should be moved and stored for multiple times. While storing and handling the aggregates, we must adopt some principles and methodologies which we are going to learn here. The topics storage and handling refers to the correct way of piling of aggregates, about the permissible length of pile, breadth of pile, and height of pile. In the process of moving aggregates from one place to another, there is chances for segregation, degradation, and contamination. Proper handling and storage prevent all these and ensures the quality of aggregates. Segregation here means separation of the one size of particles from a mass of particles of different sizes. Degradation means decrease in quality of aggregates due to breaking of it. Contamination occurs due to the addition of foreign particles. My friends will discuss further about importance of handling and storage of aggregates and prevention of segregation, degradation, and contamination. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, okay, please. Your sound is okay, visible.
My part is about why is handling and storage of aggregates important. I have mentioned it in 3 points. First one is segregation. Segregation means segregation or separation. Segregation is also called separation, means to sep- to sep- to separate aggregates in different gradations. Segregation, it causes the grading uniformity. In figure I have mentioned there that the aggregates are classified into different components, from Bay 2, Bay 3 visible. Second is quality assurance. Quality assurance makes sure there is no contamination of the aggregates to the unwanted materials. Um, we have to store aggregates in such a way that quality is not degraded, so that it can be used further with no any difficulties. Third is property assurance. Property assurance ensures that the moisture content, density, etc. of the aggregates are well in order. It means that aggregates are with previous moisture content and density, so that their properties are not degraded, and it can be used easily. Thanks. That's my part.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Today my topic is way of handling of aggregate. And my friend already told that excessive handling and improper storage of aggregate may affect the properties of the concrete mixture while mixing. So to maintain the quality of aggregate, here are some ways of handling. And first of all, we should not leave different sizes of aggregate in such a way that they overflow into each other. This can cause different sized aggregate to get mixed, making it difficult to obtain the expected mixed design. And second one, also we also aggregates should be kept in piles covered with plastic sheets, so that the aggregate will be dry and clear on and also and the aggregates should be stored in clean hard ground surface and or in wooden planks away from the trees to avoid contamination like mud, leaves, etc., which also affects the quality of aggregate. And store storage of aggregate को लागि चाहिँ अर्को साथी आवाज and that's all.
Hello everyone, it's me Purna Thapa Magar, roll number 92. Here today I am going to discuss about the storage of aggregate at site. Yes, the aggregate occupies 70 to 75% volume of concrete during the formation of concrete. So we must be familiar about how to store and how to handle the aggregate at a site. As my friend Mr. Puranpun already explained about
handling of aggregate. Now I am going to tell something about the storage of aggregate. A small little change in the physical, mechanical or chemical property of aggregate can affect the total strength, durability and workability of concrete. So we must know how to store properly at site. Here are the some steps. First one is store aggregate at site on a hard, dry and level patch of ground. As mentioned here, we must place aggregate at hard and dry place. The second one is here, if such a surface is not available, as mentioned at the first point, if there is no availability of hard ground, then we can use the old iron sheet or floor bricks to place or store the aggregate. It helps to prevent the contamination with clay, dust, vegetable and other foreign matter. And as mentioned here, the introduction of a foreign matter like clay, dust, vegetation and organic matter into aggregate, it causes serious problem during the construction period. The introduction of foreign matter finally react with concrete, and there is the development of some pores in the surface of the concrete, and these pores finally may expand, and it causes disintegration of concrete. So we must be familiar with the storage of aggregate. And the third one is that maintain sufficient distance between stacks of fine and coarse aggregate to prevent the material at the edge of the stack piles from getting intermixed. As we already know, the fine and coarse aggregate have their own importance in the construction field, and they can use in the different types of the work. So they must be stacked in a different way. And the last 2 points will be described by my friend Mr. Pushkarda. Thank you. Hello, Pushkar.
म्यूट गर न म्यूट गर कस्तो खोलेको छ Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, please.
Hello everyone, I am Pushkar Jha, but that is not the most important thing you should notice about me. Well, our group has already finished the course of presentation, and right now I'm here to deal with query if you have some. But before that, let me talk through what my friends have already said. While we talk about the storage and handling of aggregates, we should firstly focus on why it is important. Before searching for the answer of how, let us search for the answer of why. So while we look at the definition, here I have written a definition. I'll mention the source from where I have got this definition. कौन सा sound है? एक second. Hello.
Yes. You are audible. Please, you can proceed. No problem.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
सर डिस्टर्बेन्स आइरहेको छ तपाईको एकछिन म्युट गरिदिनु
Okay.
पुष्कर तिमी म्युट भएको छौ
Hello.
अच्छा
So sorry for the disturbance. Let's focus on the main thing once again. So my point was, before searching the answer of how handling and storage should be done, let us focus on why handling and storage should be done. And here is the definition that Pratiksha already talked about, and I'd like to put a higher emphasis on the only single word, and that reads no loss in quality, or let's say minimum loss in the quality. That is the reason why handling and storage of aggregate becomes mandatory. And I have included a couple of pictures here. The first picture is of a query from where stones are received, and the second one is of a storage site. So looking at this picture, this seems quite unsystematic, but when we talk about the next picture that I have included in the slide, let's see, there is quite a good segregation, isn't it? And that's the form how we need to store the aggregates in the site. And while we talk about the reasons of handling, I have already included this, which has been explained quite well by my mate Praveen. So, and the other points like how aggregates should be stored and storage precisely has been quite well mentioned by some of my other friends. So let me jump into my portion, that is any queries. If you have anything to talk about, please fire in the questions. Does the silence indicates a clear no?
Oh, yeah, okay, good presentation. मेरोमा यहाँ कन्स्ट्रक्सन साइट छ एउटा त्यो भएको हुनाले अलिअलि प्रब्लम आइरहेको ठिकै हो राजकुमार एकदम ठ्याक्कै
No problem, sir. I have included the reference here, so if you guys need to look at something more authentic and more explanatory, please go through these sites. I'm sure this will be beneficial. Thank you. That was my part.
I think we have only last group or we finished completely? Rajkumar?
So we finished. Sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much for your good presentation. Yes, I would like to explain and to comment on each group. Please, you send me the slides on team. Then when I look your slides, then later on I will discuss and comments to you. Okay. तपाईँहरूले त्यो मलाई जति पनि उ छ नि के अरे स्लाइडहरू छ नि त्यो ग्रुपको भएको त्यो ग्रुप स्लाइडहरू मलाई सेन्ड गरिदिनु होला यही टिममा अनि त्यो तपाईँको एबीको साथीहरूलाई पनि दिनु होला एबीको साथीहरूको पनि मेटेरियल लिनु होला तिनीहरूले एकदम थ्योरिटिकली अझ धेरै नै इन्क्लुड गरेका छन् तपाईँहरूको एकदम त्यो स्लाइडको हिसाबमा टाइमको हिसाबमा अनि अर्डिनेन्सको हिसाबले त्यस्तो अहिले भन्दै हुन्थ्यो नि स्लिपी एन्ड त्यो खालको कुनै पनि फिलिङ्स नै भएन इजिली गयो 2 घन्टा है आई इन्जोय भेरी मच है ल ओके हेभ अ गुड डे स्टे सेफ बी ह्याप्पी
Okay, thank you, sir.